Launch, your weekly video game podcast. My name is Mike Anastasia, and with me today we have Brandon.
Hello!
And Nick.
Hey!
And we are here, hot off E3. It is amazing. We all love E3. I do at least. I don't know if you guys are excited as I am.
Oh, it's
Dude,
like
this
the
year's
best
E3
week.
was fucking amazing.
Yeah, and we do have a lot to talk about, so we're going to skip all, like, the normal, like, what we've been playing, even though I do have some things to talk about, but that can be saved for next week for sure. Mm-hmm. And we're just going to get right into it. We're going to start off with the big three conferences, Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo. Then we'll move on to the third-party conferences from there. You guys ready to get started?
Oh yeah, let's do this.
All right, so let's start it off. Way E3 did, well, kind of, with Microsoft. And Microsoft launched right into Halo 5, amongst other things. Nick, you're a Halo guy. Well, what are your thoughts on Halo 5?
I actually didn't see the Halo 5 trailer whatsoever.
Really? Not at all?
No.
Dude, 48
because
player multiplayer with
I don't care,
AI.
Because last time I saw Halo 5 multiplayer, it looked like shit.
I know, but this looked like literal normal Halo again.
If they don't go back,
they have a new mode that looks like normal Halo mode. So put that out of your mind.
If they don't go back,
like seriously,
using the original announcer, I'm not buying. That and is it true or not true that there's no on-screen split screen?
There is no split screen.
That actually came out.
That's bullshit.
Earlier before E3, it was
Halo
5 was the cover for Game Informer last month. This month rather.
I want to play Halo 5. I haven't played Halo 4. Halo 5 it seems like it has an interesting concept as far as story goes. I saw a little tidbit here and there. But I mean, Xbox
co-op also, like a co-op story. That looked really interesting.
I mean, I'll do
like
online.
You're playing as the side that's like hunting the Master Chief, and then you can also go back and forth between Master Chief and the side that's hunting him down because apparently he's defected. You know, that sort of thing.
I don't have any friends really with Xbox Ones and Halo that will play with me probably, but I'll find out. But it seems like it's going to be a good game, maybe. I don't know. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Halo 4's reviews were mixed at best. Some people love 343. Other people, like myself, don't really want them to have the series, but
yeah, I feel the same way.
Well, it's not like Bungie's coming back, so you kind of just have to take.
Well, Bungie's not coming back, but I mean, that could have been a good thing, but it's not. Because they've changed it so radically over the years. It's insane how much Halo has changed from 3 now to 4 and 5. But I don't know. I do have to watch the trailer still. What happened was Xbox's conference was going on while I was at work, so I was just kind of going through Twitter seeing what was announced.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it seems interesting. If they make a special edition console, I'll have to see what it looks like. If I do buy it, I don't know if I will. I don't really use my Xbox One now, but I will once Tomb Raider comes out and Rare Replay probably.
Yeah, and both of those look great. Like Rare Replay was definitely a highlight for me for the Microsoft conference.
Without a doubt.
But the problem with Rare Replay was it says 30 great games. I want to call bullshit on that because Nuts and Bolts is on that disc.
Yeah, I was going to say that too.
I mean, but even if you say like 10 great games for $30, that's still a great deal. Yeah,
not only that, but it has the original Conker's Bad Fur Day, not the live and reloaded Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Which had me really excited.
Which is really good news.
It had Perfect Dark. It had both Banjo games for the N64 and the one for 360. It had Blast Corps, which I'm really excited for.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It had Jet Force Gemini.
Pro AM Racing, which is a fun NES game, I believe it was. Oh, that game was awesome.
Oh, wait. It's got Jet Force Gemini on it?
It has Jet Force Gemini, yes.
I haven't played that game, so I have to buy Rare Replay, if not just for that one game.
It's a good game.
Yeah, like I remember loving Blast Corps back on N64, and that is one I've wanted to pick up for a long time. Granted, this is not so much an HD collection as it is just kind of like a re-release package, but for $30,
which is okay. I mean, it's not terrible. It's basically $1 a game, so you really can't beat it.
Oh, yeah, you can't really complain about this because like if they released them separately as like Xbox Live titles, you'd be paying like $10, $5.
Oh yeah, I'd be pissed off.
You know, it'd be annoying.
That is actually
as grabbed by the goalies.
Game
that was supposedly a decent game on Xbox, the original.
Yeah,
so there you go.
But
and then Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider. Again, I didn't see the trailer for that either because I was at work. Honestly, at this point, Tomb Raider is the only reason I still have my Xbox One. If it wasn't coming out for Xbox One, I probably would have sold it by now. But I'm really excited to play it.
Yeah, and Tomb Raider looks fantastic. Like, we all thought the gameplay looked really good. Obviously, they did a lot with like the graphics and the lighting and stuff. Although, Brandon, did you watch the E3 demo that they did?
I did. I watched, I actually got to see every single conference.
Nice.
So, yeah, even the PC game one that you don't have listed on here, but...
I ducked out on the PC conference, and from what I heard after the fact, that was a smart decision. So,
yes and no. It was really boring at some points, but if you fast forward to other points, we got some stuff to talk about.
Okay.
So, there we go.
We can get on that later.
I kind of want to lump it in with Microsoft, but I'm not sure if I should.
Is it Xbox One related?
Yes. Like, majorly. Like, essentially they're like, oh yeah, all those games that are on Xbox One, yeah, you can play them on PC with Windows 10. Like,
there's no point for me to even have an Xbox One anymore.
No, hold on. They didn't announce Halo 5. No. They announced Gears of War Ultimate Edition will be 4K playable on PCs using DirectX 12 and Windows 10. They announced Gears of War 4 might be coming in the future. They announced Killer Instinct will be on PC in the future sometime soon once Windows 10 comes out. They announced Fables Legends will be on there. They announced Gigantic will be on there. They just kept announcing things, and they were like, listen, we fucked up with last gen and PC gaming. We're not doing it this gen. So
we're gonna make the Xbox One basically useless and port all of our games to the.
Yeah, that's essentially what they're saying.
Yeah.
If they port Halo 5 and the Master Chief Collection to PC, I'm gone. I have no reason to have an Xbox anymore.
Yeah,
I'd rather play those on PC anyway.
I'm actually on the opposite side of the spectrum. Like I watched the Microsoft conference and I was like, yeah, I guess I'm buying an Xbox One next week. So
you probably honestly, and this is coming from an Xbox One owner who's had one for about a year now, and I'm not sure if Mike can side with me on this. There's really no reason to own an Xbox One besides. I mean, there's a few games on it that you might want to play, but I mean, a majority of what they announced isn't just for Xbox One. Like Cuphead, that's for PC.
Yeah, Cuphead looks amazing.
That's for PC.
Yeah, Cuphead is a game that, like, I look at it and I'm like, I love how this game looks. But then, like, the gameplay, I'm like, I don't like the gameplay. It's nothing against the game itself. I just don't like that type of game. Yeah, so I'm like, I would love to have this game just to look at it, but I wouldn't enjoy playing it.
I'm going to play it, but I'm going to play the superior version on the PC.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, of course. The big thing that Microsoft announced that we don't have here, PC mods working with Fallout 4 on Xbox One. That shit's amazing.
I'm pretty sure they're also bringing that to PS4 as well. The only thing I know that is exclusive to Xbox One with Fallout is that Fallout 4 comes with a free copy of Fallout 3.
Because of backwards compatibility that was also announced.
Yeah, and that was the other thing I was just going to say, too. That was actually probably one of the biggest announcements they had, period, was backwards compatibility was going to work. I'm still a little spotty exactly how they're rolling out, if it's certain titles work right now. And then
yes, they do. I have a friend that installed his old Mass Effect game because he had a digital copy of it. It's playing just like it would on Xbox 360 right now on his Xbox One. No issue whatsoever. If you have a disc, you just put the disc in, and then it installs the data off the disc, and it basically uses that as a jumping point. And then you have to have the disc inside the system to run it, but it's basically installed all of the stuff onto the system itself already. So if you have a retail, it's just you have to have the disc inside. That's all.
My
but
only
it
knock,
installs.
My only knock.
But if you have digital, you just install it. Once they add it onto it, boom, you have it. He also had
against backwards compatibility is that backwards compatibility is yet another backpedal from Microsoft. Because if you remember back when the Xbox One was first announced and it wasn't announced that it was backwards compatible, CEO at the time, Don Matrick, was like, yeah, there's no point for us to have this. No one is really going to use their old games anyway.
That's the thing, though. Don Matrick doesn't have as much clout in Microsoft anymore.
Well, he's gone.
He has no clout.
Yeah, he has no clout.
I know.
But his exact quote is backwards compatibility is backwards. And,
I mean,
Microsoft basically realized this guy is an idiot. So
I mean, the new head of Xbox
his mistakes.
Seems like he's taking it in a good direction.
Oh, he seems very in tuned to what people want, and he's doing his best to make sure they get it.
I'm not trying to get ahead of ourselves here, but I think this is the first year that I actually liked Xbox's E3 conference more than Nintendo's.
Oh, without a doubt. Nintendo sucked.
Yeah, we'll get to that eventually.
Well, we will get into that because I'm...
So, what else do we have for Microsoft that we want to talk about? I know we hit on the things. Oh, I have Gears of War up here, Ultimate
Yeah,
Edition.
Gears
That
of War.
one, I didn't really care too much. I was like, yay, Gears of War.
Yeah, I was like, whatever.
Gears of War 4 looked really good, and like it was doing something different though, and that kind of excited me.
I read a tweet about Gears of War 4. I'm not sure if either of you are familiar with the YouTube account The Best Gamers.
I have not.
They basically make funny reviews of games, but at the same time you're like, huh, he makes a point. The one dude from it tweeted out that Gears of War 4 is now the darkest game, darker than Doom, on the sheer fact that the game was just pitch black.
Well, I mean, there was a giant storm and everything. That was kind of to be expected. And I actually really, really liked the physics of Gears of War 4 and like how everything was just crumbling and falling. It was very nice.
If it's good, I'll get it, but it's not going to be a day one buy for me.
Oh no, without a doubt.
Just like Tomb Raider's not going to be a day one buy for me because it's coming
Tomb
out
Raider
the same day as
probably
Fallout.
will be for.
Nah,
never mind.
Somebody,
you had to. All you had to do was say because it's coming out. The
Yeah.
same day as Fallout, and I was
Somebody
like,
told me
backpedal.
that they were like, Tomb Raider comes out November 10th, 2015. And I was like, oh, that's
so
a
many
bold
things
move,
come out
Cotton.
November 10th. Have you like noticed that? It's like
Yeah, but that's how it
it's
is.
stupid.
I was
It's like, why would you release on the same day as Fallout?
I was like, bold move, Cotton. Let's see how that pays out for them because honestly, they should at least put it up or pull it back a week.
Yeah, I
because
agree.
Tomb Raider by itself, great game. They're going to lose a lot of sales if they're on the same day as Fallout 4.
Oh, without
That game is a lot bigger. But
Yep.
I don't know. Their conference was more tolerable than in recent years. I mean, the last few
Very
conferences
much so.
I've seen from them, it doesn't seem like they had a grasp on what anybody wanted. You know, they'd come out and talk about Kinect for a half hour.
We
They
saw
open up the-
nothing connect.
Which
Nothing.
is good.
Well, last year's was pretty good too. Like they were really
That was
interesting
alright.
things last year's.
Yeah, last
But,
year was pretty
yeah.
good. But this year
Um,
was the first one that I'd say in the last few years has actually been very good. Like,
Yeah.
before I saw Sony's, I was like, all right, Microsoft, you done good. You done good. Let's see what Sony does to beat this.
We didn't
Oh
have
my.
the usual open up by Call of Duty bullshit, which I'm mad that PS3 hasn't now. I kind of wish that Activision would just have their own conference, but
You mean
that's
PlayStation 4?
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, Sony.
Yeah, just Sony in general. Yeah, I gotcha.
But you know, we'll get to that. But I want stuff like that to kind of be out of it because I hate when like third party publishers come out to this. Like, I don't want to see Battlefront in your console press conference. Like, I don't like PlayStation showed off more Battlefront. I'm like, no.
PlayStation
EA
actually made me be like, okay, I guess I'm playing this on PS4 instead of PC.
But
Like, I
EA
actually had
had-
to do that, and I was like, this
Like
is
EA had their chance. Now let's show me new stuff. I don't want to like, oh, we're gonna show you Assassin's Creed Syndicate. No, fuck you. I just saw like an hour ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
Yeah, that was Ubisoft though, but yeah.
yeah.
Ubisoft had issues, and we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah. One last thing too, I do want to say for Microsoft is my friends went crazy for that new Rare game. I don't remember what it's called. The Pirate.
Dude,
Oh,
that
Sea of
looks
Thieves?
so good. It looks like it could be so good.
Like,
Sea
I
of
want to be
Thieves, yeah.
pirates. Yeah. And I'm like,
Pirates.
I don't know, guys. Like, I'm sure it's probably okay. But
I mean,
That'll be
I
fun.
know it's not original Rare people and all that good jazz and blah blah blah, but
Oh, yeah,
it looks
they're
like yeah, obviously, but it looks like it could be very good if it's done well. Like it could be a lot of fun. It could be like the survival game for the Xbox. What I didn't like for Xbox, one of the only things I didn't like for the Xbox conference is that they announced that early access is coming to the Xbox One.
Oh,
In
yeah.
which case I was like, and
Yeah,
one of
fuck
the
early
first
access.
games coming in early access to the Xbox One is fucking DayZ, which still isn't even finished on PC.
well,
Shut
that
up.
explains why it's early access. So
It's been in development for 3 years, though. It's like, you know, there's a moment in time where it's no longer early access, and it's just, you're too lazy
Well,
to finish your own game.
that's like-
In fact, one of the original creators quit. He quit. And he was
Like
like, yeah, I'm not
Minecraft.
doing this. I got my
The
money,
game-
bye!
Minecraft is never done. It just keeps adding stuff on. Like,
Oh,
no, they
speaking
did updates. Minecraft officially released and had an actual ending to the game itself. DayZ has nothing. It
So-
still has massive bugs that make it unplayable even for some people.
So let's segue off that. Speaking of Minecraft, that HoloLens thing that they showed off. was
What the fuck? I can play Minecraft on my table?
really neat. Yeah, you fucking like pull it up out of the ground. And
Dude, that was some fucking like not Born Identity, but Oh, what's the name of that movie?
I know what you're thinking of. I can't think of the name either.
Yeah, we're both thinking because it has the same person in it as the Bourne film. So it's like
no, that's not what I'm thinking of.
Inception?
I'm thinking of the one with.
Oh wait, no, I'm thinking Minority.
Tom Cruise, Minority Report. Yeah,
yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. I was mistaken. Yeah, that one. That's some Minority Report shit right there, and it's kind of amazing.
Also,
if it works.
Almost as shocking though as. Did anyone else ever hear the company called Mojang before? Because that was the first time I've ever heard that.
No. They're Mojang.
But that was the Mojang brand director that said that.
Yeah, that's true. And the thing is, I think it's because they're Swedish, so they just pronounce things differently, and we've all been pronouncing it the wrong from the beginning because of it.
But you think someone would have noticed this in the last, I don't know, 5 years of the Minecraft craze?
Nah, they were too busy counting their money.
No, I'm not saying that. Like, I'm saying the reporters, like, you know, the different websites that like to talk and write about this stuff all the time. Like, you think we would have heard this somewhere, but that was the first.
I like
time
that
I've
someone
ever
actually shared a post. I think it was a Kotaku post. I didn't actually see it, but all the title was it's called Mojang. That was like the title. I was like, really? Yeah. I mean, whatever. That was pretty interesting. The entire like VR thing there, it was much more interesting than Sony's, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm not really into the whole VR thing, honestly.
I still don't believe it'll work. I don't know. You know, I've got my qualms with it, and I don't know how well it's actually gonna turn out. You know, I don't know if it's something that'll just become like vaporware in a few months, where it's like, yeah, we're actually not gonna. That was a bad idea. You know, like. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. It's definitely something interesting to look into for the future.
Well, speaking of VR and that stuff, did you guys want to talk at all about the fact that Microsoft's in bed with the different VR companies, like all of them, or
aren't they with Valve?
Oh, they announced an Oculus deal before, and then they talked about the Valve one at the thing.
Yeah.
And obviously, then they have HoloLens on their own.
So, I guess they have 3 fucking things then? I mean, what the hell? It's crazy.
I guess it's nice that you have options. It's not.
Oh yeah, it's definitely good to have the options.
Just one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the options. It's just wow, they might be overwhelming themselves. They might be taking on more than they can chew. That sort of thing. I don't know. We'll see. Mm-hmm. Again, it's a wait and see thing because right now, when it comes to VR, we're all just kind of like. I guess, I haven't seen it. Have you seen it? Have you?
I've never used a VR headset.
I haven't either.
The closest thing to a VR headset I've used within the past 5 years was my buddy's Virtual Boy. So,
probably the same for me as well, to be honest. So, anyways, do you guys have any last call things to talk about on Microsoft?
No.
No. Okay.
I thought they were good, not the best.
I thought they did good too.
They did very good. Is my rating for them is very good.
Yes.
All right. So moving on to Sony, the only prediction I happen to get true in our E3 predictions thing.
I don't remember my predictions. I gotta go back to last week's.
I don't know if I made a prediction for Sony.
My prediction was that they have nothing for this year, so they're just gonna bullshit with everything else, basically.
So you got none. You didn't get this prediction true then.
What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, okay, I guess you're right.
What is coming out this year that's great from Sony? Actually, that was my big takeaway from Sony. Like, yeah, they announced a lot of stuff, but guess what? We're going to see it next year and probably the year after.
Here's the thing. I think one game they announced is going to come out this year, and I'm going to put my money on that Horizon's coming out this fall.
I doubt it.
I don't think Horizon will be out till next year.
I think they talked about a single game that's coming out this year aside from the third-party games.
I also wouldn't be surprised if Final Fantasy VII came out this year as well.
Final Fantasy VII will not come out this year.
The PC release is going to come out this year.
In the winter.
Yeah.
The PC port is coming out. Yeah.
Now that it got put on the back burner because of the iOS version, we'll get it in the winter. If you still want it now that they announced a new one.
You don't. I don't even like Final Fantasy, and seeing this shit made me just be like, what?
It looks really good. But obviously anything's gonna look really good when you take it from PS1 and port it to PS4.
Dude.
I'm pretty excited for it.
Which game are we talking about?
I think we're talking about Final Fantasy VII Remake already.
Final Fantasy VII?
Yeah. I just want to say this, alright? I just want to say this. I saw the best reaction video to this ever. Did you guys see the game trailer's reaction video?
No.
Oh my god, it's so fucking funny.
I literally just watched it before we went on today.
It's so good. Especially the guy that, like, gets up in his chair like he's a fucking bird on a perch. He's literally... Oh man, he like flips over his chair at the end of it, like, oh my fucking hell, the shit, what the fuck? He's just like freaking out. He can't even make words.
I don't know if you saw, but today I think it was the director of Final Fantasy VII Remake came out and said that he'd like to make more remakes of like Super Nintendo era Final Fantasies.
Oh my god!
And what makes me excited about that is not the fact that we could be seeing, Final Fantasy IV remade.
6.
It's the fact, or 6, whatever. Fuck you.
I mean, we already saw 4 like recently on PC. I mean, it was the DS one, but I don't think we'll see.
I'm more excited.
4 is actually
possibility,
the iOS one. I
don't know if I'm like going too far on this, but I'm more excited the possibility that we'll see other Squaresoft RPGs from Super Nintendo brought back in the same way.
Yep.
I told my friend today, I was like, if they make a new Chrono Trigger, or remake Chrono Trigger in the same engine they're doing Final Fantasy VII, I will cease to exist. Because that would be the most amazing thing I would have ever heard, and like nothing from then point on would ever surprise me ever again.
Alright, so let's talk about how Sony had 3 of the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Let's talk about this.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this for a second. Because I swear to God, if someone would have announced that Half-Life 3 was coming out like last night at the the PC Gamer thing, the world would have ended today. Like, I'm pretty sure of it.
I mean, they did start off with The Last Guardian, which I think everyone kind of knew based on news that started coming out before.
Yeah.
But it was nice to see it again. I mean, it's not coming this year.
But it's coming. That's the fucking point.
We all knew it was coming. They kept on insisting it wasn't canceled. I don't think anyone thought it was.
They actually had an interview with the creator of that and talked about what the problem was and everything. And it's a very interesting interview, and I would say to look for it if you're interested in finding out what happened to The Last Guardian and why it took so long.
Yeah, they did say they started porting it to PS4 in 2012.
2012, yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's why it just kind of vanished. They didn't have any assets to show off or anything at the time, so...
I do think the feather effect with the dog-bird thing looks weird.
Well, I mean, it's probably an art decision because, you know, how the Ico and Shadow of the Colossus games are. Like, even the updated versions of them, they have very, like, simplistic, like, effects, that sort of thing. They're very, like... It's very artsy, like, in general, you know?
Oh, yeah, I mean, it looks very much like Shadow of the Colossus.
Oh, yes. And, I mean, it's the third game in the series, and what I mean by that is, if any of you have played the other 2 games, each game actually takes place in the same shared universe. And they all tied into each other in some way, shape, or form, which is kind of interesting.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I might get it. I don't know. I haven't really seen enough to sell me on it yet. I've never played the other 2 games, so I'm like, whatever. But I know a lot of people are excited about it. I
highly recommend playing at least Shadow of the Colossus, maybe Ico as well. Probably Ico first, then Shadow, and then this, if you're going to actually go for all 3, because they do tie into each other no matter how small it is. There are moments in times where, like, if you play the other game and then you play the game after it, which literally throughout the whole game seems like it has nothing to do with the other one, but then you start slowly realizing, wait a minute, and then you just got those moments where like, oh shit, you know, and it's that they are really good at doing that. Like, they're really good at putting all the games together without actually being like, this is a remake, this is in the same world. Like, they never tell you it, but you start to figure it out yourself, and it's really neat. It's really well the way they do it. Really good.
So, besides those 2, I think the biggest surprise had to be Shenmue 3. Honestly, that had to be the biggest... I would have never
Like I said, one of the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Fucking Shenmue 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
oh
I do think
my god.
Well, we should just say exactly what they did there. Like, it wasn't officially I mean, it was Shenmue 3, but, like, the game's was not at that time officially being done. They announced its launch of its Kickstarter that night with a hefty $2 million goal, which they hit in a little less than 9 hours.
Yeah,
which
they
was
fucking
also equally
destroyed that goal.
impressive. Yeah.
Yes.
And obviously, if you know anything about game development, Shenmue 3 is not a $2 million game, no matter how you want to.
No, it's
cut it.
way more money.
But they did say that Sony is going to be stepping in with helping with the funding and stuff,
which makes it look like it may be like kind of exclusive to Sony.
which they did, I think, allude to or say at least at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But that was
that's
kind of
a big
gauge of
thing
interest.
for Sony.
Yeah.
But I mean, after what Microsoft did to them with Shenmue 2, do you fucking blame them, honestly? Because, like, Microsoft pretty much left them out in the cold after Shenmue 2, when they were like, it's a niche title, no one wanted it, whatever, get the fuck out of our face. And, you know, like, that was fucked up.
I have Shenmue for Dreamcast. Never played it. I do plan on playing it now.
You have a lot of money, my good friend. You have a lot of money.
It was like $40. I'm not. Now that you're talking about.
And apparently the prices are skyrocketing now.
Yeah, they are like maybe $250.
Are you? I have it complete. Are you kidding me?
You might have like a $250 game.
Because my buddy lives out in Colorado, as I've mentioned here before, and there's a store out there.
I wanted to play Shenmue again because I don't remember if I finished it. I don't remember the story, and I wanted to go back through all of them before playing 3 because I'm pledging to it this week. I am pledging to it this payday, $120. So, boom.
My question was, is Shenmue 2, is it worth playing?
Yes, because they all follow, like, a chronological story.
I didn't know if, like, Microsoft ruined Shenmue 2, and that's why people were...
No,
I wasn't exactly sure what happened.
They didn't ruin it. Microsoft just didn't get a good return, investment back, so they were like, no, we're not fucking having anything to do with you. Basically, they Microsoft it, more or less.
No, I have Shenmue 1 complete in box. I got it for like $40 a year ago.
It's the most I see it selling. The least I see it selling for right now on Amazon is complete original case, cover art, inserts, game disc. Games are in good condition. It tested and it works. Condition value good, $98.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much what mine edition's in. So after I might take a little bit of a break from Fallout this week. I've played a lot of it. I've completed Broken Steel. I've completed Operation Anchorage. I think before I go through to play The Pit, Point Lookout, and Mothership Zeta, I might go in and start Shenmue for Dreamcast because I've always been curious about this game, and just seeing the fan reaction to this game being announced in itself makes me just really, really interested in checking it out. I could not believe how much money this game has raised.
You ever played the
day.
Yakuza games?
No, I've never played the Yakuza.
I would also recommend checking those out. They're really fucking good.
But honestly, like going back to Microsoft, but people were like, "Oh wow, that backwards compatibility, that's such a mic drop moment." I'm sorry, if you come out and you announce Last Guardian, Final Fantasy VII, and Shenmue 3 coming to your system, come on, what are you doing? That right there is just like a holy shit, we mean business moment.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And the other games that they've talked about too, I mean, besides Dreams looks a little weird, but the other 2 games that they showed off that were pretty big are also very good, or at least look very good. So, all right.
Shenmue.
Last time I checked, they had hit most of their stretch goals. I think they have like 3 more left, but obviously that's going to get extended, obviously, like most Kickstarters do.
Yeah, I think they've obliterated all of them now.
Yeah, but last time I checked, they were about to break 3 mil.
Yeah, they've already broke 3 mil.
Where are they at right now?
$3,072,605.
Beautiful. I'm really excited not only for this game to be made, but just for the producer to show like Microsoft and Sega that hey, people wanted this, and you royally fucked up. So, I'm really excited.
Yeah, I think I mean, I know I'm pledging to it this week. I really hope the 120 thing is still possible because they actually give you the physical PC copy and physical toy capsule gachapon things that are taken straight from the game, and that's amazing. And I want it so bad.
One of the predictions that I made, I think I made this prediction, correct me if I'm wrong, that Guerrilla was going to show off their new IP.
I think you did.
I think you actually did, and they did, and it looks really good.
It looks really like when they were first showing it off, I was like, "Oh, what? Like this is a caveman game?" I'm like, "Yeah, whatever, I'll give it a shot." Yeah. And then they pan to the city, and I'm like, "Wait a minute!" And then they just show her fighting a robot dinosaur, and I'm like, "I'm sold." This game besides looking really beautiful, it looks like it's really fun to play. I'm happy to see Guerrilla like free of the Killzone franchise, at least for once.
Without
and I can see, I like it when franchises make developers break free of like their staple franchise for like one time, and they make like just an amazing game,
something nuts, and then you're just like, oh,
different, and it's good, and it shows that they're not just this one trick pony. So
yeah, well,
I definitely think
we have to make sure that they're not a one trick pony first. So
yeah,
it's hard to even say sometimes that they are even a single trick pony.
True. I mean, Killzone 1, I don't even know how they got a sequel to Killzone after 1, because that game is atrocious. But Killzone 2 and 3 are fantastic.
Killzone 1 is horrible. Killzone 2 was okay, so was 3. Mercenaries was also great as well.
Yeah.
And then you have Shadowfall, which was a huge disappointment. So,
but it was still an alright game.
It was still okay.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, definitely excited to see what that game holds. You're right, it does look beautiful, and like the time period's really interesting too that they're going with. So I think that they'll have something there whenever that eventually comes out.
I honestly don't think will be. I honestly think it will come out this fall. I think this is going to be their big title because other than that, they really don't have anything else.
No, if it was going to come out this fall, they would have said it was going to come out this fall. I don't know.
Maybe not. I mean, you never know.
I don't think that's coming out this year.
Because, I mean, besides, alright, none of the games they announced are coming out for the holiday season. What are they going to do for the holiday season? They can't just Fallout, Call of Duty, Just Cause,
They totally are. Like, that's what they're doing.
They can't. There's no way.
They are. No, they don't have to. Like, they're selling buttloads of systems. They don't need games at this point. Like, they really
I mean, their holiday game is Star Wars Battlefront. They've got exclusive stuff for it. That's their holiday game. That's what's going to happen.
And actually, I can see right here on the PlayStation blog, it is scheduled for 2016 release.
Horizon?
So, yep.
Oh, well.
So, yeah, that there it is. And like I said, they have nothing this year.
I'm also disappointed that we didn't see a release date for Uncharted 4.
Yep.
That's also 2016 that we know.
I'm going to say spring 2016 for that game, but I
think Uncharted 4 will be out before E3 next year. That is one I think, but I think the unfortunate truth is next year's E3 is going to be a recap of this year's E3 for Sony. Like, we're going to end up seeing The Last Guardian again. We're going to see Final Fantasy VII again. We're going to see Shenmue again. We're going to see Horizon again.
We'll probably see Shenmue again.
Shenmue 3 is a 2017 game, so we'll definitely won't say that time soon. Final Fantasy VII is definitely not even it might be a 2016 game. Maybe, but I think that's 2017.
Final Fantasy VII, I don't know, because that has been a game that they've been kicking around for so long. I mean, they had PS3 tech demos of that game. So I don't really know, development-wise, how far along Final Fantasy VII actually is. But I would at least go out on a limb to say both Horizon and The Last Guardian will come out not only before E3, but probably like early spring, late winter.
I think Last Guardian's farther out than that, but we'll see. We'll see.
I mean, Last Guardian might be like a E3 week release title, but I honestly think we will see Horizon definitely before next year's E3.
Oh no, I think Horizon is going to be their holiday title next year.
I mean, I don't know, maybe.
I don't know. We'll find out. Again, we still haven't seen too much of those games, but other things that Sony showed off: Dreams, the new Media Molecule game. I don't understand that game at all. Is it just a puppet show?
No, I kind of understand it. It seems like a video game version of Source Filmmaker, more or less, where you can create whatever you want, but not only that, but when people create their things, like through drawing with the controller and whatnot, and animating that stuff, those can then be taken and added into other people's creations. So, like, there's probably going to be a persistent, like, dream world where you can grab other people's creations, such as that head you saw him grab out of someone else's game, and put it into the one they're designing, and vice versa, going back and forth. Because that's what it seemed like they were saying when they were saying, like, they're all interwoven together. I don't fully get it myself, but it seems like that's what they were trying to say.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen enough of that game to really pass judgment on it, but from what I see, I don't understand what they're trying to sell me.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a weird title.
It is. And Media Molecule has a way of pulling things out, but That one, I think we're going to need more time on to just fully gauge it. So
definitely.
Yeah. Anything else from Sony's conference you want to talk about?
Oh,
actually, yes.
There's one game that comes to mind. I'm sure you saw it and are excited about it too, Brandon. Firewatch.
Firewatch looked really interesting. I liked the opening to that where he was like, "Oh God, there's something down here." Really? No, there's nothing here.
Also looks like it's running on Unreal 4 engine, which is pretty cool.
I believe they said it is running on Unreal 4. So there's that. That looks cool. But no, I actually wanted to talk about a feature that I don't think anyone really caught that is kind of neat.
They announced a new feature for the PS4, which, again, I don't know why they did not show this at their press. Like, Sony has this bad habit of announcing things that are, like you want to know afterwards. Like, they didn't announce their 20th anniversary controller and headset at the show. And they didn't announce that a feature coming to the PlayStation is basically a brand new video codec feature. You could play, MP4, MKV, all different types of video formats, and they didn't even mention that. Like, that's kind of a big deal. I mean, to me anyway, because I watch, stuff on my PlayStation.
You actually did not get what I was going to mention. So, yay, I still have something to talk about also.
Well, besides that, I don't know what else they announced.
Yeah, what are you going to talk about, Brandon?
Right, now, this was cool to me because I have a mother that still watches live TV.
Oh,
but I don't know if you guys caught that. PlayStation View and how they're going to allow people to buy individual channels.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've known about View for a while.
Yeah, we knew about it, but we didn't know about the paying for individual channels thing and not having to have a bundle.
Yeah. I have access to PlayStation View. I had never seen anything
about that yet, so that was neat and new to me.
Yeah, it's been rolled out in, what did they say? 3 cities is New York, Philadelphia, and Chicago, I think?
And I'm in the Philadelphia area, so I do have, access to it, but I don't use it because I know what the hell it was. I do like that they say you can buy individual channels. I don't know what their pricing is, but it's pretty cool. I mean, I've always been... whenever, I can't... me and my friends will talk about, if we get an apartment, we're going to do this, and that. I've always been on the side of not getting a cable box.
Oh, yeah, I think that's too much money if you ever do.
Because... And even against getting a home phone, because all you need really nowadays is internet. You can get phone through the internet. You can get TV through the internet. Just have a big, beefy internet plan and you're good. So, you have stuff like Netflix, Hulu, Crunchyroll. But now with PlayStation View, it's I can't get this channel on Netflix. I'll just subscribe to it through PlayStation View, which is really nice.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about, too. That's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited about that. But, I mean, it's pretty cool that you can, pick and choose what you want from live TV. I don't know how they're going to price it. I really hope it's something fair, but who knows? Because PlayStation Now prices are kind of wonky. So
and then obviously the cable company subsidizes a lot of the cost because you're bundling all the channels together. If they want the channels for $9.99 a piece a month, unless it's the only channel you watch, I don't think they would be able to justify.
I'm sure
that.
they'll have deals. You can get one channel for $10. You can get 3 channels for $17 or something stupid like that.
And I mean, like I said, View's already out, so we could just literally just look on the internet and see what the pricing is. It shouldn't be crazy, but it is definitely a neat thing, and it'd be interesting to see it rolled out in more places for sure. Anything else, Sony? You guys want to talk about?
Two things with Sony.
Mm-hmm.
Quick things. One, I don't know how to feel about the world of Final Fantasy.
Oh, yeah. No.
I do. I fucking want it.
What?
I want it, but I don't know why I want it.
Okay.
It looks weird. When they were first showing it, I was like, this looks like Kingdom Hearts. And then it showed chibi versions of all the characters. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. But I was like, alright, well, it's Final Fantasy. I'll buy it, maybe. I don't know. I have to see more of it to really buy it. But another thing that I noticed, and
they talked more about it and explained more about it at the Square Enix conference,
which I did not see.
It was actually pretty interesting, the idea of it.
One thing, and it has honestly solidified for me that Sony has cut any ties they have to the system. I'm going to say PS Vita is officially dead to Sony.
Yeah, I think the Final Fantasy World, was the only thing that mentioned Vita at all during the entire conference that I've seen.
I don't know why Sony has given up on the handheld.
I don't know if that's true because they had a so
it's definitely true.
that mentioned it, yes. But they did have a thing towards the end where they were showing off all the indie games and other kinds of games like Persona 4 Dancing All Night.
That's not
to Vita.
Paying attention to your system.
Oh, no, it's not. But it's just saying
there are
it still kind of exists.
They have not announced, and correct me if I'm wrong, within the past 3 years, a first-party title for the Vita. Everything that's been made has been made by third-party publishers.
Yeah, and Sony themselves said they're not putting any development into like first-party games at all, like really anymore.
It's cool that I can play Shovel Knight on my Vita, but I can also play it on my PS4.
Yep, and I actually called this basically when they announced like the share play feature for Vita. I remember saying this to a friend, and I'm just like, "Well, this is the moment where the Vita dies. Like that system is dead now."
Yeah,
like,
honestly,
you will never see a new original game made for it at this point. And I mean, they've been kind of had a little bit, but Sony definitely has followed through with that. So.
At this point, the Vita feels like more of a second screen for the PlayStation 4 that can also just happens to play games.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is whatever, but I feel like they can make better use of the system. Like, even if they don't want to make new games for it, port older ones to it. Like, port more PS1 classics to it.
You can do PS1 classics already.
I know, but not a lot. They don't have a lot.
That's a pretty good amount.
No, they have quite a bit.
Yeah, but I mean,
and it's got the Vita games, and it's got some Vita games or PSP games, and some Vita games is what I meant to say.
PS Vita makes me sad because it's got a lot of potential,
and
I feel like Sony has wasted their time with the Vita. I feel like it could have really given 3DS a run for its money if they had done anything substantial with it.
Well, see, it's a different stance approach. Like Nintendo put out the 3DS and it started to like get shit on, and then they did the massive price cut and the the ambassador program and all sorts of stuff to kind of like revitalize that market. And Sony went through basically the same thing, and it was just like, well, that sucks.
Yeah.
And they've done some things to make the investment that they put into the hardware worthwhile, but they didn't do anything to invest into it as its own platform.
Yeah, so honestly, other than the support of, Persona games and like other like JRPGs and stuff like that, the Vita's, in my opinion, is going to Sony. They don't really care anymore whatsoever. At this point, it's just going to be an accessory for the PS4 instead of its own system. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it's a good platform for what it was, and
the first-party games that really came out for it really weren't anything too special. Mercenaries was pretty good, but like Uncharted was meh. Resistance was pretty bad, actually.
Yeah, Resistance was pretty bad.
The only
Call of Duty that they invested in was horrible.
Call of Duty's terrible. But honestly, the only two games that were really enjoyable in the system, for me at least, were Little Big Planet, because how can you mess up Little Big Planet? And Tearaway. And Katamari, but even then...
and Tearaway. Tearaway is definitely a standout on that system for sure.
Yeah, but other than that,
just keep playing Le Mans over here and fucking Persona 4.
Yeah. If you want to play a dance party game on your Vita, that's cool, but,
A dance party game? The hell are you talking about?
Persona 4 Dance All Night.
I'm talking about Persona 4 in general. I have Persona 4 Golden.
Yeah.
That's a good game.
I don't really care. So.
That's a shame, because Persona's a fantastic series, and I should hit you for not really caring.
It seems
that's
like
okay.
Every time I've wanted to play Persona, I'm like, I wonder how Persona 4 Golden plays. And I look it up, it's like you're a high schooler by day, and by night you kill like demons and shit. I'm like, oh.
That's Persona 3.
Alright.
Persona 4 has to do with people's inner fears and a television station that you can only see at like 12 in the morning or 1 in the morning, and it's supposed to reveal your true love
HBO,
to you.
Brandon.
But it doesn't actually do that. Instead, it shows you the next person who's going to die and end up with their intestines hanging out on a fucking television antenna.
Fantastic.
Antenna.
Antenna. That's the southern drawl coming out of him.
So let's go back to Sony. Actually, just one last thing I know we need to touch on. Uncharted 4. They did end the conference on. Looked fantastic.
Oh, you mean Uncharted 4? The trailer's end? Oh. And wait, I mean, come on. You guys saw that, right?
Yeah, they had to restart. They had to restart.
They had to restart the entire thing. It was funny.
The game
but that was how you knew it was a live gameplay.
Yeah.
So I was happy about that. It looks very nice. It looks like Uncharted. You're right.
That was really all you need to say about it, to be honest. Yeah, it looks like Uncharted. They didn't seem to mess anything up. So,
which is good.
Yeah.
They did come out today and they said that, well, they alluded to the fact that this is going to close the story of Drake and Sully, so which is
makes
good.
Sense. Yeah, I mean it's called Thieves' End. That's the subtitle. So
yeah, but they could have killed Sly Cooper in it, like you don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm.
But I mean, other than that, Sony's conference was good. I don't think it was the best they've had in a few years, but it was, I think, the best of the first-party developers.
I think it gave a lot of great announcements, but I think that it did nothing to make people want to buy the system this year.
Nah.
Mm-hmm.
It showed off Batman, and
but that comes out like a week.
No, I know.
That comes out next week.
I was actually surprised they did that.
Yeah,
they
shouldn't have done that.
Not that Batman doesn't look good, but like you literally like a game that comes out a week from now, you could have spent your time featuring a game that comes out like.
Well, they were showing missions that are giving an idea of missions that are specific to PlayStation.
And I swear to God, if I see one more Sony press conference and they show off No Man's Sky, I'm going to shoot myself. I am getting sick of seeing this game.
Oh yeah, no, the game is such an interesting concept, but again. No, who knows when that's coming out? Like never, probably. But yeah, they really just have not said a lot about it. So.
Enough.
Mm-hmm.
No.
They actually said last night on the PC gaming thing, they're making a release date and like announcing it in the next like few weeks to a month.
Allegedly, we'll believe it when we see it. So, any final thoughts on Sony? You guys ready to move on?
I'm good.
Okay. Moving on to Nintendo, we'll start off a little bit before the conference because they kind of rolled up their events on Sunday. So Sunday they had announced the Smash Bros. 3DS and Wii U DLC stuff. Nothing surprising, like the rumors were true. Ryu and Lucas both were actually in development, and they both came out that day, along with, Lucas, Roy, and Ryu all came out together. The rumors were Ryu and Roy, and those were all released on that day together. Ryu came with his own stage, and you also got the Miiverse stage in there as well. They did release the Kirby Dream Land stage for the 64, and they announced some more 64 stages, and that was about it. Basically, and tournaments are coming in August.
Dude, you can't glance over the fact that Ryu is now in Street Fighter. I mean, now in
Street Fighter.
You can't glance over the fact that Ryu is now in Smash.
That's surprisingly a deep character in there.
I don't know if you guys will disagree with me, but the general consensus from my friends are that I'm an asshole.
Okay.
I despise the fact that the DLC costs $30.
Well, if you buy
because there's no way you can explain to me that 3 characters and a few stages cost exactly the same amount as half the price of the main game.
I mean, if you ever looked into, like, Skullgirls, when they were doing their whole thing with that new character and, like, breaking down the cost on it and everything.
First and foremost, let me go ahead and tell you why you're wrong. The $30 is actually for the 3 characters, the new stages, all of the costumes, and that's on both systems.
Yeah.
It costs $21 for it only on the Wii U or 3DS.
Yeah, so, and if you just want to buy, like...
$21 is even still a little high.
For me to buy the 3 characters and the stage on both systems, it cost me about $21.
But hear me out. With Lucas, he was in Brawl. Not much you gotta do with him, but maybe up-res his graphics a little bit and maybe balance him out. Roy, not much you gotta do with him. Again, balance him out, update his textures. I understand Ryu, because he's brand new. They have to, make stuff for him, and I thought the stuff with his controls are pretty cool.
But you could also
and obviously
they have to rebalance the game for the new characters. You have to get voice actors back in to do voice acting work if needed for those characters, and I mean, and that's multiple.
Really?
Because
the only voice actor they need is Ryu.
No, because they also need the announcer to go through and do announcing things for it.
Yeah.
Then, I mean, they integrated them all into the classic modes and all that stuff, too. So you have all that stuff. You have the trophies to make. So, I mean,
I don't know.
There's a lot going on there. I do think that the cost
it was
probably
fair, personally.
Justified. It is expensive for what I think it should be. Like, what I would like to pay, rather. But I do think that if Nintendo went down and broke down the cost of what they paid to do it, I honestly think that they probably could make a good justification for it. And like what I was starting to say too is Skullgirls, when they announced their new characters like on Kickstarter that they wanted to make, they did a breakdown for it because everyone's like saying the same thing, like, this is so expensive. I don't know why you guys need like, what was it, $100,000 to make a new character or something? And that is what they came back to, because they're like, it's not just, we make a character and it's good to go. It's like, it has to be balanced, it has to be animated, it has to be, up-res for these different systems. You have to have the voice actors come in, you might have to have the voice actors come back. You have to do this and that. It's a game we already finished with. We have to add all this stuff in. And I do think
it is not balanced. I can tell you, Nintendo skipped that part.
Yeah, no, Ryu's Ryu.
Yeah.
I think like a price point of maybe $15 for everything for both systems would have been more fair. I think $30 is, again, a little bit too steep for my taste.
Oh,
I don't really
I don't
really play any of the characters anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that I thought was bullshit was that we have to pay for Lucas and Roy, because it's kind of Nintendo's fault that they're not in the game anyway, because of their presumption that nobody wanted them. Especially
well, obviously,
Lucas.
they thought someone wanted them. They were the first people in. Like, these characters were obviously in development before the poll opened up back, I don't know, what was it, 2 months?
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know. To me, it's kind of bullshit that they left Lucas out. It almost seems intentional that they left Lucas out just to add him in as DLC.
Well, then good. Let people pay for it, and then Nintendo can see how much people want him in. Maybe that will lead to more good beginnings for Earthbound fans. Going into the next topic, out of nowhere, Nintendo, just before the Nintendo World Championship, announced that Earthbound Zero was going to be releasing that night on the Wii U Virtual Console. Now known as Earthbound Beginnings, was lovingly called Earthbound Zero by a lot of fans. Mm-hmm. And that, I think, was probably one of the most shocking moments of E3, period.
Yeah.
That was pretty shocking.
Nope, I don't think anyone saw that coming at all. I mean, that game
I didn't see Shenmue 3 coming, but
that is true too. But yeah, for Nintendo to release a new Earthbound game after 30 years, it's pretty crazy.
But I mean, it's not new. That's the thing.
It is new. I mean, it's new for...
Why is it new?
Why is it new? It's never been localized. I mean, it's been localized. It's never been released in the US or Europe. Period.
I mean, I guess you have a point there, but, it's an old game. They probably just had to get the patches or something from, where someone else, had already...
No,
Wait, you said it's already been localized,
so
but
that
it was never
the thing.
released.
So you never heard...
I mean, that's... You ain't got much to do if it's already been localized and never
Nintendo
released.
localized that game back in the early 90s. It was supposed to be one of the last NES games, and then the Super Nintendo ended up coming up on the platter. Marketing didn't feel that Earthbound was going to be a good fit, and so the localization was finished. It was just never released. And the reason we have Earthbound Zero is someone, for some whatever reason, had obtained a localized copy at some point and then made a ROM of it. And that is why we know that game is Earthbound Zero. But this is the first time it's ever been officially released in English. And it should be the same localization unless Nintendo went and changed things after the fact, which they may have. There was some, naming conventions that they might have wanted to get in line with each other. I think in that game it's called, is it Psy or... I don't know. It's weird. And Gigas is differently named, and I don't know. Some weird things. But they might have all went through and got that together. I don't know. I did download the game. I have not played it because, as I've said the last couple weeks, I cannot handle another RPG right now. And as much as I want to play this game now it's officially released again, I cannot do it. I will kill someone. So, this game has a brutal end difficulty curve. I remember having to blitz it at the end. And this is also one of the reasons why I don't use a PC anymore. So, but yeah, no, I think that was super shocking. I don't think anyone ever saw that.
That last sentence confused me. Why is this one of the reasons you don't use a PC anymore?
It's kind of a long story. I don't know if I want to say it right now, but basically it has to do with I was playing the game and Microsoft decided that it was absolutely the most essential time to do an update when I walked away for 3 seconds to go to the bathroom after having saved for 3 hours.
Oh.
So that was the beginning of the end for Windows for me. I'm just fuck this thing. I hate it so much.
I guess you forgot to turn that off, huh?
It was XP. This is a long time ago. So it would have been probably before that was even a thing. But yeah, so that was the beginning of the end. Anyways, so moving on from Earthbound Beginnings, Nintendo World Championship, I do want to talk about that a bit, because I thought that was the best way to start E3. I don't know if you guys watched it all, or any of it.
I saw some of the highlights.
So the two big highlights for me, I mean, they went through and played a lot of great stuff. The two big highlights for me was the finale with Super Mario Maker. That totally sold me on that game.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
I was like, wait, this is what you could do?
Yeah,
all right, I'm in.
Compared to what they showed for Mario Maker last year, they definitely showed that there is a lot more depth to this game. Mario Maker last year made it look like you just do a linear left to right level. No way. You can go all over the place. You can do so much more than I ever even dreamed of. The game is
pretty awesome.
Insane, and it looks fantastic. And they also announced, apparently, too, I guess, they were at one of the Nintendo Treehouse events last night. Miyamoto, and I don't remember what the other Mario guy's name is off the top of my head. They actually announced that they were going to put those Treehouse levels into the retail copy of Super Mario Maker. I guess the Treehouse guys, the two that made I guess they were in tears. They were just
yay,
completely shocked and overjoyed. And it's well deserved because those levels were incredible. And,
yeah, they were great.
So, besides Super Mario Maker, I'm excited about that game. I'm also excited about the new Fire Emblem. Well, not new.
Let me just finish up on the World Championship.
Yeah, let's finish the World Championship.
There's one last...
actually... go on.
There's one last moment that I really want to share, too. My two favorite moments, like I said, the finale with Mario Maker, and then the Reggie battle, the Smash Brothers battle.
My god.
Please tell me you watched that.
Good. It was the best.
Yeah.
Yes. I was going to offer you a job if you let me win. Well, I'm an engineer, so I don't need your job.
And Reggie was playing Ryu, and somehow he's pulling off the higher level Hadoukens, you keep on seeing them pull out. But he couldn't jump. There was a couple one point where he spawned and then just fell right off the screen.
I loved the announcers they had because they were the same ones they used for actual esports, Evo and stuff. And one of them literally said, "I can confirm Reggie is actually pushing buttons. He is pushing buttons on the controller."
No, that was Kevin Pereira that said that, I believe.
Oh yeah, that's right. Kevin did say that. Oh my god.
And Kevin was a hilarious host. I thought he did a great job. Nintendo actually brings Kevin Pereira out for a lot of GameStop events when I worked there, and he would host their stuff. And I always thought he did a great job. He was really funny.
He seems a bit better now, honestly.
Yeah.
When he does Nintendo stuff, he is much more tolerable because he actually seems to be getting into it. I don't know how to explain it, but he seems more at home with Nintendo stuff than he does other stuff. Other stuff, he just seems like he was super pandering when he did it, but this, he actually seemed like he was getting into it, and it wasn't just gotta be here to make my paycheck. Which, I mean, obviously it is, but he actually seemed like he was getting into it.
My guess is doing the GameStop stuff that he had done for the probably last 5 years, I bet he's gotten a really good developed a really good relationship with a lot of the Treehouse people there, I'm sure, because the Treehouse people will go out there and work with him on a lot of that stuff. So I imagine that he has probably just gotten really close with those guys, understands their passion, and just can kind of go with that too. So, but yeah, Nintendo World Championship, awesome. It was just stunning. And I hope they do that again next year, because it was amazing. I had an absolute blast watching that. So anyways,
it was fantastic.
Let's move on to the disappointing stuff. So, the Nintendo digital event starts out with Star Fox.
Let's talk about the best part of this event.
Star Fox?
Muppets.
The puppets. The Muppets. The Muppets
they did
were
say it was Jim
so
Henson,
good.
So. Mm-hmm.
Star Fox looks good. It looks like the same Star Fox game I've been playing for the past few years, so...
which is
I'm
a
okay
good
with.
thing. Yeah,
which is good. I mean, they haven't changed too much.
I kind of disagree with that, but yeah, it still does.
It looks like Star Fox 64 to me, but
and that's the weird thing.
But did you see the the way it works in cockpit view with the second screen and everything? Because that's really interesting. You missed that.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Because the second screen on the Wii U gamepad is looking from cockpit view, and you can get better aiming and everything because you're using the gyro of the Wii U gamepad, and it looked really cool when I saw of it.
But I liked how Star Fox is looking. I like the rebranding, do you like what I did? Yeah. The rebranding of Fire Emblem Fates from Fire Emblem If.
Mm-hmm. Well, I never had an American name, so that was the first time I saw it. Which I thought, actually, when I heard it, I was like, great name. That is a great name for it.
other than those two games, I felt like the entire digital event was a giant slap in the face to Nintendo fans.
There is one game you missed. It's Mario and Luigi Paper Jam.
I don't care.
You should care.
Hold
that
on.
Game is
Hold on.
Amazing.
Hold on. You guys missed the best game of the entire conference.
Yeah.
Fucking Animal Crossing Mario Party. Fuck you. That looks great.
They should have just called it Amiibo Party, because it's not just Animal Crossing.
No, it's like Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival or something like that. I don't know what it's actually called, but it looks so fun.
It looks like it's a mix. It doesn't look like it's so much Mario Party as much as it is Fortune Street. That's kind of what I gathered out of it. It reminds me a lot of Fortune Street.
My big problem with Nintendo.
That's even better.
Was that we got titles that we wanted, but not in the form that we wanted. Like,
I know.
Federation Force, you can suck my dick. I'm sorry. That's, to Metroid fans, that is the biggest slap in the fucking face you could have given us. Because that's a bullshit game. I'm sorry. They could have done so much better.
And we'll get, I do want to talk a bit about that one too, but I'll let you finish your thought.
Zelda Triforce Heroes. Why not make it Four Swords? Another Four Swords game. All you did was take out one character. Like, what are you? That's bullshit to me.
So let me start with that one. Did you watch the gameplay for
It has
Heroes?
online play, though. I like it.
No, I didn't watch the trailer, no.
So Triforce Heroes, from what I can tell, because I did actually watch the Treehouse segment for that, and I don't think you really see it in the trailer that they showed off for it. That game is definitely, it looks to be a lot deeper than a Four Swords game. Definitely not as deep as a Zelda game. But, like, there's stuff and puzzles going on in there that I don't think they could have pulled off in a Four Swords game. And it makes sense with what they're doing. Do I think it's a great game? I don't know. Am I excited to play it? Not really. Will I buy it? Probably. But I do think that one, it definitely is not trying to fill like the Four Swords vibe. And I think that's a good thing. I'm over Four Swords.
I'm going to buy it because it has online multiplayer.
Which is nice. I mean, we could all play that together, which would be
fun.
Yeah.
I also think that the Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, again, was another slap in the face.
Well, and apparently, too...
I thought it looked great.
So I just read this today, and I'm seeing conflicting reports on this. But there are people reporting that Amiibo Crossing Animal Festival is actually like a free-to-play game. And your only cost is the Amiibo.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. You have to have an Amiibo to play it, but you do not have to pay for the game. Although there is apparently a bundle that has been like showing up tentatively on Amazon, which is like 2 Amiibo and some like Animal Crossing cards for the game. So I'm not quite sure if maybe there is like a bundle that you could, like maybe the game itself is free if you download it, but then you can buy the Amiibo separately. I don't know. But like it looks like it may be like a free game if you have the Amiibo for it.
It looks fun. That's what it looks like.
I don't know if you guys are getting this vibe, but to me it seems very clear that Nintendo is very much focused on their next platform. And while they keep promising Zelda is coming out for the Wii U, I think we're going to see another situation where, like, with Twilight Princess, where we had one version on GameCube and one version on Wii.
I don't know if I'd go that far yet. My thought on this, too, and this is coming from someone who is definitely disappointed with this lineup. And actually, too, I should just say, Nintendo did the same thing that they usually do, where, like, they don't show all of their stuff in the Nintendo Direct. Like, there's a lot of stuff that was not there that is actually, like, on the show floor, like Fatal Frame 5. I completely forgot that game.
Yeah, that's coming to the US. Holy shit! I didn't expect that.
So I mean, like there is that kind of stuff, but like the one thing that Nintendo did with their press conferences that none of the other ones did is all of these games should be out before E3 next year.
Yeah. And well, I mean, a lot of these
and they showed nothing beyond that unless anything gets delayed.
Triforce Heroes is supposed to come out in the fall. I think both. I know the one Animal Crossing game's coming out in the fall. The Happy Home Designer.
Both of them are for this fall.
Star Fox Zero, I don't think they announced a release date.
Star Fox Zero, they did for December. Holiday. No, not Xenoblade is December. Star Fox still doesn't have one yet.
No. It definitely said this holiday.
The holiday doesn't mean December. That means October.
Yeah, holiday could be.
Yeah,
you know,
but
it's this year
area.
But it is definitely this year. No one's disagreeing on that.
Yeah, now that's one thing they can't say is that most of the things that they did talk about are coming out this year. But it's just I was really disappointed with what they showed us. I think it could have been, like, again, going back to Metroid Prime Federation Force.
I grew up when they showed that.
You could have made such a better game for the new 3DS with Metroid that you decide to make a fucking soccer game.
Well, it's not only a soccer game. So let's talk about Metroid Prime Federation Force.
I think he missed the other part of that game, honestly, if he thinks it's only a soccer game.
I'm sure he knows it's not only a soccer game, right?
Right.
Like, you know that's not all it is.
Oh, you didn't know that?
I didn't want to look into it anymore because the sheer fact of looking at the picture pissed me off.
Okay, that's the online. Like, that's
one of at least one of the multiplayer modes that it has. I imagine it probably actually has more. But it is a 4-player mission-based co-op shooter.
Yep. In the vein of Metroid Prime. You just don't actually play as Samus. They said Samus is in it, though, so...
Yeah, you're playing as, like, Federation troopers. The gameplay I saw, I mean, it's not the prettiest looking game. I don't think it's going to be a great game. I do think it will probably be an okay to good game. It's made by Next Level Games. That was theirs.
I'm not even sure if this is going to be a physical release, honestly, with the way it looks.
It's probably too early to guess at this point, but...
I know, but it kind of looks like something that would be digital, especially with the whole multiple game thing. Like, maybe they have a digital bundle where it's like, get this and this, or get this separately from this if you want that only. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that when I saw it, I was like, this just looks like a eShop title.
Yeah. But apparently it doesn't look great, but I mean, Next Level Games, I mean, they do some great stuff, but they're really not known for their graphical prowess anyways. But
I mean, Luigi's Mansion looks good.
It looks good. It doesn't look good or excellent.
I mean, it looks like a Luigi Mansion.
I don't think it even looks as good as Luigi's Mansion on the GameCube, to be honest. But
well, I mean, it's a portable game compared to a console game.
But
so.
3DS has shown that it can do stuff that the GameCube can't. So there's no reason why it shouldn't. So,
this is true.
So, but anyways, graphics aside, I think the game looks okay. I think the most shocking thing. Have you guys seen that there's a petition to get this game canceled?
No, but I would gladly sign it.
I think that's too far. I think that people, if you don't want to buy the game, don't buy the game. That's a clear enough message.
I would never make a petition to do it, but if somebody was like, "Hey, Nintendo, what's your opinion if you want this game made or not?" I'd be like, "No."
Yeah, I just don't.
But I'm not buying it. I am definitely not buying it.
Yeah, but I think the game looks okay, and I think everyone was disappointed because they wanted a real Metroid game, and if they were like Metroid Prime Hunters, also like it was starred Samus and it was like a Metroid game of some sort, people probably would have been like much more excited about this. But like I said, they probably picked the wrong venue to unveil this game. This should have been unveiled in like the mini direct or something, and not like put out in the forefront.
Thing that annoys me is that they gave it the Prime name. It has nothing to do with Prime, like at all.
Well, I mean, it has to do with the universe, probably. I think.
Yeah, but you just could have called it Metroid Federation Force. I mean, it's not like there's not really a huge difference in lore between Super Metroid Fusion, Metroid Prime.
So you have the lore, but you also have the point of view, and I think that the Metroid Prime is a kind of like double take on that name. Like it's not just the lore of where it's taking place; it's also the fact that it's a first-person game.
I saw something that really made me laugh. It was like a tweet. I forget who tweeted it, but they were like, "Huh, Other M doesn't look too bad right now, does it?"
Yeah. So Federation Force is just kind of like I said. I think it will probably end up being a good game. Like I probably will pick that up. I'm not super excited for it, but I do think that it could be
before it's the best game Nintendo releases this year. Before that happens.
Well, that's coming out next year, so that's not going to happen.
It was this year.
No, it's next year.
Oh.
Disappointing, I know.
I thought it was another holiday game. All right, I guess I'm wrong then.
No, it's going to be an early 2016 game.
I will say, if they make a bundle for Fire Emblem Fates, I will buy it. The only condition I will buy, or a new 3DS, the only condition that I will buy Metroid Prime Federation Force is if they make, and I doubt it's going to happen because it seems like it's such a tiny, insignificant game. But I will buy if they make a special edition of the new 3DS, only because I like Metroid, and if it's not branded as a Federation Force game, but more of just like a Metroid console, I will buy it. But other than that, I have no interest in having this game anywhere near my 3DS.
Well, you're never going to play it anyway. You still haven't finished Prime 2.
Yeah, but can you blame me?
Well, you got to play Prime 3. That game's excellent, but...
I know. It's been. I do have to play it. I've been playing other things, though, so it's not like I'm not playing anything.
So... Anyways, I think we talked that game to death already. They did show off Xenoblade X at the conference again, which I think people just don't care about at this point because we've seen it so many times this last year. Mm-hmm. And I think the December release date's a bit disappointing for it, considering. But I'm excited for that game too. It's so far away. I just don't care, and I've seen it so many times. I just didn't care when they showed it off again. I wanted to see new stuff, not stuff I'd seen 1,000 times. But Mario and Luigi Paper Jam, that game is the most badass game that they probably showed in the whole thing. I'm so stoked.
I didn't see the trailer for it, but all I saw was the Paper Mario font, and I was like, I wonder if this game's going to be poop.
Oh,
no, you're wrong. It looks fantastic. It looks really good.
The Mario and Luigi games are fantastic.
Well, no, I know Mario. I've played a lot of them. I played Partners in Time. I thought that was a fantastic game.
Nick, have you seen nothing on this game, at all?
No.
This game is Mario and Luigi Paper Mario Edition. It's literally both games shoved into one.
It's
where
you
crossover universes, and they had Paper Peach talking with real life Peach. The fuck is going on here?
I probably will pick that up. Do you know if it's a new 3DS game?
No, it doesn't look like it.
They haven't said for sure. I don't think that one is. In terms of ones that I think might be, I think Metroid Prime Federation Force might be a new 3DS only game, to be honest.
Uh-huh.
But I didn't see that definitively confirmed, and I actually think that the the Hyrule Warriors Legends, I think that one might be a new 3DS game as well, but I haven't seen an official confirmation on either, if any of those games are new 3DS games at all. So, that's all. That's that. I mean, anything else to talk about on the Nintendo side of things?
Nope. Oh, the 8-bit Mario amiibo looks really cool.
Yeah, and there's 2 variations. Did you see both?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Speaking of 2 variations, did you guys see that there's 2 different variations for Rob?
Yes. Did you see that there's 3 different ones, and you can swap out the Game & Watch amiibo?
Well, Game & Watch, apparently you buy one, you get all of them.
I
know,
but Rob is the Japanese one looks like a Famicom, whereas the American one looks like an NES.
And I'm probably going to end up getting both of those, to be honest.
I would like to get the Famicom one over the American one.
I think the Famicom one looks better, to be honest.
Yeah, well, the Famicom looks better than the NES, but that's besides the point.
That's true. But yeah, I probably will end up getting both. I thought it was pretty surprising to actually showcase the Japanese Rob at E3 as well. They had both of them there.
I was checking out the Nintendo YouTube. Mm-hmm. Metroid Prime Federation Force.
Oh, that is getting
under
hammered.
100 likes, over 7,000, under 1,000 likes, so 700 and something, and over 7,000 dislikes.
Yeah.
And they just started uploading videos from their stuff.
People have been piling on Nintendo for the whole digital event. Apparently, Iwata actually got some bad. Iwata got onto Twitter and apologized for it and said they'd be more aware in the future. The other thing, too, and I haven't heard anything about it, maybe I'll be surprised just checking the news later, but Nintendo usually does a special event Wednesday night, and I haven't heard for sure if they are or not.
I do want to say something that Nintendo did that's really cool that apparently no one noticed. Mm-hmm. Indie games that Nintendo have coming to the platform.
Oh, that deal they have going on?
No, if you go on to Nintendo eShop right now, there is a thing that's called Nintendo at E3. Mm-hmm. You click it, and there are demos of all of the E3 demos that are on the show floor for certain indie games.
Oh yeah.
So I played a few of them, and I was like, oh, this is actually really neat. How Microsoft did when they first started E3 on the 360, they allowed you to download the demos from the show floor onto the 360 and play them before the game came out, and some of those games actually ended up never coming out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did the same thing, essentially, with the Wii U this year, and there's some pretty decent titles on there. Granted, most of them are PC games I've already played, but they run pretty well on the Wii U.
Well, the second side of that, Brandon, which you're actually missing, which actually is really awesome, too. Apparently, if you download the demo, it actually will give you a discount on the game.
Oh, that's really neat. I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Yeah, so they're not only are they putting demos out for them, but I guess, who knows? Who knows if it's actually maybe it's just something that's running this week along with it as well. But they're basically hey, if you play this game and like it, we're giving you up to 30% off of it. So
that's cool.
Yeah, so that is really neat, and that is again,
especially since they aren't out yet. So how are they going to do that?
Yeah, I think, and I'll be honest too. Nintendo's problem with E3 this year, I think that they do that thing that they do every once in a while where they announce things too far in advance, and they announce things before the E3 stuff that they should have announced then. Probably, honestly, if they announced Earthbound Zero and Chibi Robo, Zipline, and all those other little Bravely Default or Bravely Second, whatever it's called, if they threw all that stuff into their E3 thing, it would have sounded like a much better thing than what they actually had shown. But
okay, I gotta say something. I gotta fix what I said before. Metroid Prime Federation Force. I was looking at an older video of it, like when it first went up. I found the official one on Nintendo's page now. 4,065 likes. 407,000 views. And 39,000 dislikes.
Yeah, the game. Like I said, that game is getting hammered. Actually, I think Destructo just did a public poll on the conferences, and Nintendo took a hammering with what people thought about it. And a lot of it was because of stuff like that, where, you know, like kind of like what Nick said, you know, it's like, you know, we want a Zelda game. We got a Zelda game we didn't want. We want a Metroid game. We got a Metroid game we didn't want.
But, I mean, do we really know we don't want this yet? Like, I mean... We haven't even got to play this. No one's got to play this. We've only seen a short 55-second video. That is all. I don't think that's enough to go on, honestly.
But,
I agree.
Listen, if you're showing me a game for the first time, you better make a good impression. And they didn't do that.
And
you know what I'm saying?
That too.
Like, if they want to make a good... They want me, a Metroid fan, to buy their Metroid game. If this is all they could show... If this is what they decided to show in that 55 seconds to try and sell me, it's not good. Like,
yeah, I mean, I get where you're coming from also, but at the same time, I really don't think, like, judgment should be passed that quickly. You know?
Yeah, like
first impressions are everything, but, like, at the same time, this could just be a small... honestly, it looks like a level 5. You know how the level 5 has their, like, release week every year. Yeah. They release their series of games. This just looks like something that's going to be part of next year's. That's what
I'm just saying that to make a good impression, you got to show what the game is about, and if you don't do that correctly, then you're gonna hurt yourself. Like, this game may be good, but you inadvertently killed interest by showing, you know, the shittiest part first. Like, why would you do that?
Yeah, like if what they had actually shown of that game was maybe like an actual like few minutes of people actually playing the game and what it's like, they probably would have gotten a better reaction than what they probably actually did. So. Yeah. And the name kind of turned people off, too. And I think they were hoping...
I just think people want to be angry. I'm looking at Game Explain's video that literally shows the game, like, direct feed of the game, and people are still like, I don't want this, I'm angry, ah!
So, and actually one last thing I do want to say about Nintendo that I just remembered, too. Like, super awesome Super Mario Maker feature. The fact that you can scan in amiibos, and it will swap the character into the... amiibo, like an 8-bit version of that amiibo, which is awesome. I don't think they've announced which amiibos it's going to work for totally, but they've shown off already Link, Marth, Wii Fit Trainer, Isabelle, and probably there's a ton more, I would imagine. So, yeah, so that was pretty awesome. Anyways, any final thoughts on Nintendo before we move on to the third parties?
They didn't bring it this year.
Yeah, well,
they kind of sucked, honestly.
Yeah, we'll kind of rank them at the end. We'll kind of give our final thoughts.
Yeah.
When we get there. So, but Bethesda.
Oh my God. Bethesda was beautiful.
Holy shit. Bethesda kind of crushed it, in my opinion.
Really? I don't know. I guess I didn't come out with it. I didn't care about Doom 4, and that kind of like killed my interest.
It's all right to be wrong.
Like that one. No, I mean they showed way too much of Doom 4, and it didn't. I mean the game looks great, but I just don't care about Doom that much.
It looks like a no bullshit kind of first person shooter, and that's what I want. Like
that's how I feel too.
Honestly, the game
it's got that Wolfenstein look already, and I fucking love it because Wolfenstein easily one of the best first person shooters made in years.
A good story, I hope it does, but the story is not what I want from a Doom game. What I want from a Doom game is exactly what they showed. The fucking
fun? Because that looks like fucking fun.
The gun, all that shit. That game looks phenomenal, and it looks beautiful. Like, the engine that game is running in is just fantastic.
The main thing about Doom 4 is, you know, Doom 3 was really fucking scary and atmospheric and creepy and everything. Doom 4 just looks like fun. Like, straight up fun.
And can I just say, I'm very happy about the return of just a classic Team Slayer kind of mode coming back.
Yeah.
Also happy about the Map Maker.
Yeah, that looked...
I think this game is going to be a really, really good game for Bethesda, and I'm happy that it's being made.
Me too.
And then another big announcement, which people kind of knew was coming. I think there were like leaks here and there that this game was possibly going to show up. There was a leak
because they accidentally left on their Twitch station while they were talking about it backstage. So it got recorded and the audio got out for people that were waiting on the Twitch channel before it had gone up.
For Dishonored?
Yep.
Yeah, Dishonored 2.
Well, their Twitter accidentally leaked it out beforehand.
As well as Dishonored Definitive Edition.
Yep. We called that, guys.
Dishonored 2, my only complaint about it was, and a lot of companies were guilty of this year. We complained about it a lot when we were watching
gameplay?
it with me. Was they just showed off a CG trailer and no gameplay. Mm-hmm. And, every time they did it, we were like, we don't care. We don't know what this game is. We don't care. And Dishonored 2, we kind of have at least an idea of what that game is. But with, what was that one? I think it was Ion? Like the one from the DayZ guy?
Man.
So they're just kind of backpedal a little bit, and they're like, oh, Ion. And they show this trailer, like, what the fuck is this game? Like, I don't care.
You want to know something that makes that even weirder? They showed more and told more about it. They didn't show more. They just showed the trailer again, and he told what the game was, and how it would play at the PC Gamer thing.
Uh-huh.
It's a Diablo clone. Did you get that from the trailer? Because I sure as fuck didn't.
See, that's why I just don't care about CG trailers anymore when they show them, because it tells me nothing about the game. Like, it could be anything. And I know there was another game that looked really cool that was guilty of this, and I don't remember what it is right now. Maybe it'll come to me as we go through. I think it was one of the, from one of the other third-party conferences, but yeah, no, didn't care.
Was it Nier?
No, I don't think it was Nier.
Okay.
I think it might have been something from either EA or Ubisoft, and I was just like, I just don't care. Like, until you're going to show me something substantial, I just don't care.
Was it For Honor?
For Honor, they showed gameplay for, though.
And you can actually already sign up for the beta, and I did.
Yeah, and For Honor, we might have said while we were watching it, but then they showed gameplay, and then we were like, okay, this game looks really cool.
Before we get on the topic of For Honor, because I do want to talk about For Honor.
That's Ubisoft. We're not there yet.
Yeah. The best thing, probably to come out of E3, and obviously the thing I was most excited to see, Fallout Shelter and Fallout 4.
Dude, I wish I could play Fallout Shelter right now. I'm so sad.
Fallout Shelter, for people who don't know, it is excuse me, I'm sorry. It is coming to Android.
Mm-hmm. In the next month or so. It's
basically Sims Fallout.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend's been playing it on his iPhone, my other friend's been playing it on his iPad. It's not a bullshit game, and
yeah, I really like
very apparent.
Yeah, he was like, listen, I don't like timers. They're fucking dumb. We're not going to have timers. We made a game that we wanted to play that we're also happen to give to you guys as well. And that was more or less, he was like, I don't want the fucking microtransactions. I don't want the, you have to buy these packs because everything's locked behind blah, blah, blah. If you want to do that, cool. Otherwise, you can get it through the actual game. Who fucking cares? If we make money, whatever. If we don't, whatever. We wanted to make this game, and we did.
That's what's awesome is that...
And, that was something I really appreciated. The fact that he... And if you... From everything I've seen of the game... It really is 100% true. You're not stuck behind timer walls. You're not stuck with microtransactions. You can get everything just by playing the game. You don't have to, continuously grind out stuff and that sort of thing, and making it, where you don't want to, and you just want to spend money. They didn't do any of that, and that's really a breath of fresh air when it comes to mobile games.
What I'm really happy about is that I don't really think anybody can now say anything negative about Fallout 4's graphics. After seeing the gameplay that they showed us, and all the features, and all the new stuff that they're adding, first off, sets this game light years ahead of Fallout 3 in New Vegas.
Yeah.
It just shits all over those games.
Let's not get too carried away, because Fallout 3 is one of the best games ever.
No, here's the thing. That's what I'm excited for, because 3 is fantastic. But 4 looks even better.
Oh my god, I love the fact that you can be in the middle of a dialogue tree and then just fucking kill the person or just leave. That shit's that's great. I love that. Sometimes you're like, I don't want to fucking listen to you. Why not put a bullet in their head instead of listening to them?
I like the Mass Effect style speech choice thing now. I think it works a lot better. It's a lot more fluid too. Instead of just stopping and you go through and pick, you can just interrupt them or
male or female characters and how it changes the story based on what you do. I like that. It's cool.
Yeah, I really love seeing that you can make your own settlement. That looks really cool. Customization of your armor.
That 8-bit.
The 8-bit Fallout Boy.
Oh my god, it was so good.
The game looks beautiful. The new engine looks beautiful. I'm really fucking excited for this game. And me and my friend, who both love Fallout to death, when they showed off the Pip-Boy edition,
yeah, I'm really sad about that.
Freaking girls squeeing.
I was like, sad.
Oh my god.
That makes me really sad. You had to bring it up.
It's like one of the biggest things they announced, though, is that the fact that
but they sold out in 10 minutes, and you can't buy them anymore already.
I got mine from Amazon.
Oh, you lucky
like the day
bitch.
of.
You're lucky.
I also,
bitch.
and I'm not sure if this is going to happen. I'll keep you posted.
Mm-hmm.
I reserved Fallout 4 when it first was announced and paid it off on PS4 at a GameStop near me. Apparently, since GameStop servers haven't updated yet, you actually can't reserve the Pip-Boy edition yet.
Okay.
But what they're going to do is, if you have at least like $30 down on the game, they will call you up and say, hey, do you want this?
What if I put 60? Hey, you know what? Fuck it. Here's $120. Call me when you got the Pip-Boy edition.
The one thing with that, though, Nick, I will say, like, that's generally on a store-to-store basis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I realize that.
And sometimes they'll do things, too, where corporate will just change their minds and be like, because one thing that they could do, and they have done this in the past, is, and we just saw it with Amiibos, too, where they'll be like, hey, we're only going to sell this in Weapon Store. So then all of a sudden your $30 is useless because it's not enough to pay for the game. And then they're not going to be able to just roll it over. Then you have to go into the store. They could sell out before you get there. And it ends up being a crappy situation. Just something to be aware of.
Yeah. No, I know. This is just something that I heard was happening. Not that I'm all too concerned, because like I said, I secured mine the morning of on Amazon.
You lucky son of a bitch.
I'm so fucking excited for this game, and I'm so happy it's coming out in about 5 months.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be so good. In my opinion, Bethesda had the best third-party E3 press conference.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt.
I think they announced the most things that personally I wanted to see, and that...
Although they didn't really announce anything new. Like, they kept it short and to the point.
They announced Dishonored 2, even though it was leaked, it doesn't mean it wasn't new.
They also announced Elder Scrolls Legends.
Nobody cares about that.
Elder Scrolls card game, who cares?
Some people do, some people don't. If you play, games like that, sure.
Nah, man, even me, I like CCGs, and there's too many of them now, I don't care.
But I mean, besides Bethesda, Ubisoft and EA pretty much, and Square Enix, for the most part, showed off things that were already announced.
I could not stand EA's conference for many, many reasons. I kept ignoring it and coming back. Like, I watched the whole thing, but a lot of times I just muted it. And, man, when we get to EA, which I think we should in a minute, I'll tell why.
I think we're ready to go into EA. Let's go
into EA. I'll go ahead and say the reason why I didn't like EA's conference. They had it set up where they were going to be like, we're doing 20 minutes of this, 30 minutes of this, 15 minutes of this, and that sort of thing, and they kept showing that in the bottom left-hand corner, being like, in 10 minutes, blah, 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 blah. But once they hit the sports portion, and you know what? If you like sports games, that's fine. It's not my bag. I could care less. And you can get as many sports games as you want. But you don't tell people, like, we're going to be talking about this in 10 minutes or 15 minutes from the sports games thing. And then you leave the sports games portion. You talk about that for a very short amount of time, less than you even said you were going to, and then immediately go back to sports games and do that back and forth, back and forth. That seemed kind of fucking like, haha, gotcha, you gotta keep watching, because we're sneaking this in between, and you might miss something, and that was kind of fucked up.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, the thing with EA, and I said this actually when we were watching it too, was the fact that with EA, they knew were not going to keep your attention the whole time, and that's why they kept on teasing you with Star Wars Battlefront coming up in like 15 minutes, because they know that that's what people are going to want to tune in for.
Yeah,
and so they have to keep that carrot on the rope so that you could suffer through Pele. Mumbling. We couldn't even understand what he was saying.
I know, it was...
And he was terrifying. Like, his eye kept on showing up on the screen for some reason. Just his eye, I don't know why. That was all. His whole body, they just showed his eye.
Dude, that guy, oh man, I felt so bad for the guy that presented Unraveled, because he was so fucking scared. He was like, like, you could see him shaking up there, and I was like, oh my god, man, I'm so sorry they put you up here.
Oh, yeah.
Like, a small indie studio that's never made anything before, and now you're like, at E3, out of fucking nowhere, and you're shaking while holding a little doll in your hand that you probably had made specifically for the game, and like he was showing it off, and he was being very humble about the whole thing, and like how he took pictures of the like doll in different places, and it was adorable, and it was very childlike and everything, and it was very inspiring to see that kind of like thing, you know? But like at the same time, you could see this guy wasn't ready for this, and he was just like, he started mumbling. You could tell he was really scared, and at like about halfway through that portion of the conference, I was like, just shut up and take my money. All right, you can have my money. I'm sorry, you shouldn't be here. You've made what looks like a great game, but go get some rest. It's gonna be okay. Like that guy looks so frightened.
And to be honest, I do actually think Unraveled was actually the best thing that EA showed off.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, I loved it. It was so cute.
So, I mean, his woes were worthwhile. Like, he definitely had something worth showing off. I think all of us were like, we're going to buy this. I don't know what's coming out, but this is the game I want. So that looked fantastic. Mass Effect Andromeda.
I could care less.
I'm so excited for that. But what did they say? It's not coming out for, like, ever. It's like,
yeah, that's the one. Ever.
Yeah.
Releasing eventually. Like, I think that's the date. That's the tentative release date.
Yeah, I think it's coming out, like, 2016 maybe.
No, it's
later.
Like 2017.
Yeah,
like
so
holiday.
Yeah, I'm like I don't even care about this anymore.
I mean, not only that, but again, CG trailer. So, why do I care?
That's true. Although, like I said, my only caveat with CG trailers is with sequels, at least you know what you're getting for the most part. They usually don't do bait and switch. Like, Mass Effect game's a Mass Effect game. Like,
but this isn't a Commander Shepard game, from what I could tell, at all.
Shepard's dead.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, we don't know what we're getting, honestly.
Well, we know if it's going to be like an RPG, space RPG, in the same vein of Mass Effect, I don't care if it's Shepard or not. Shepard wasn't the reason I played that game. It was the universe. And if they can do something cool like that again, then I think that's great.
All right.
So, like, I give that one like a slight pass. Yes, I would like to have seen more, but just knowing that the game is being worked on, just kind of like a little snippet here and there, I can more than tolerate just the lack of gameplay there, especially considering it's 2 years out or whatever.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I do say those CG trailers still suck. If they were going to show something, that would have been great. But other great stuff though, Mirror's Edge, we did get that.
Mirror's Edge Catalyst, I believe, is what they call it. We actually got an official confirmation there are no guns in it this time too, which is actually really cool because the gunplay was garbage in Mirror's Edge.
At least they at least said Faith wasn't going to use a gun. Did they say that no one else is going to either?
They confirmed, I believe, this morning that there won't be any gunplay in Mirror's Edge Catalyst.
Well, that doesn't mean that the other people don't have guns.
Well, yeah.
Oh no, the enemies still have it, but you aren't going to use it.
Yeah, no,
so,
exactly.
Like,
That's what I was
for the
saying.
Player. Yeah. The enemies will probably still have guns.
I was joking before they showed it off. I was like, just wait. Faith is going to be like the game's going to be like a third-person shooter now, and like. Faith,
no, it looked really good.
Faith is going to have like
really good.
She's not even have arms and legs anymore. There's no parkour at all, and her arms and legs are just guns, and she's just like cartwheeling around, shooting everything. But the game does look fantastic, just art style and everything. Like
I think they said this was the prequel. This is the start of Faith's story, so I like that. This
one kind of seems more like it's in the reimagining type thing, or like the retelling, because it sounds like, and actually much like Star Fox Zero, where it's like, this is kind of a prequel, kind of the same game, and maybe a little extra, depending on where we feel it going. So
we don't know what the fuck we're doing with this yet, but enjoy it.
Yeah, reboot is definitely what this is, but it'll be nice to see. I actually just told my PlayStation 3 to download the first one, because I'm actually really excited to try that one out.
Oh, you never play it?
No, I didn't.
It's actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
It's very zen.
Aside from the shooting part.
Like, it's very zen.
Mm-hmm. So, anything else you guys want to talk about EA-wise?
I did see Star Wars Battlefront. I'm just saying, I saw Star Wars Battlefront, and that game looks awesome, and I'm going to buy it.
It looks really pretty, especially that's an alpha.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, is it alpha? Because, I mean, that releases in a few months also.
I know, but that's what I was told. I could be wrong, but I've heard that was an alpha, but I would highly doubt that they're going to do... If it's an alpha, it's got to be towards the end.
Yeah, probably. It looks really good. I like the idea. I like the fact that you can fucking fly around the AT-ATs. AT-ATs, fucking, string them up like you could, in the original Star Wars games and in the actual movie. I like that idea. Like that you can actually use heroes and villains again. So Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader are on the table, and we actually got to see some gameplay of those two. That was cool. I liked it a lot. I don't know. It looks really good. I want it. I'm going to get it. It's going to happen. That's how I feel about that game. Like, so much shit was going on, just like in general at the time, that was kind of overwhelming, and it was like, wow, this is actually pretty fucking amazing. And yeah, that's kind of what I got there.
I agree. It does look really good. I don't know if I'm going to get it still, but it moved up a couple notches in my mind after what I saw, for sure. Yeah. And especially considering, too, they did announce, like, there's, a single-player campaign. Like, there's a bunch of different stuff going on, which I think I'm totally cool with. So, yeah, that's nice.
It'll probably be, like, the kind of Splatoon type thing, where they've got, like, missions that you can do, and kind of pseudo-campaign, and then the real meat and potatoes is the actual online multiplayer. So
Battlefront confirmed for Splatoon.
Alright, anything else EA-wise you guys want to talk about?
Not particularly. I can't really think of anything else EA that made me be like, ooh.
Alright, Ubisoft. They stole the show for me with the first game that they announced.
I really liked how they announced it as well, and how they did it. And I like the fact that they actually had Trey and Matt Parker come out and be like, yeah, I know we said that, but we're whiny bitches. And,
what did they say?
They said we're whiny bitches.
Well, no, what did you said? I know we said that. What was that?
They said they would never make a video game again after the Stick of Truth.
So, this is the funny thing. So when we were watching the feed, like, the South Park thing comes on, we're like, oh my god, we fucking love South Park, that was great! And then, I don't know why, but at, like, the trailer finished, and then they're like, Matt and Trey Parker, and they walk on stage, and then my feed fucking shits out all of a sudden.
Man. And it was great, the interview.
And by the time I got it, like, all back up again, they're literally just cut to them saying, like, thanks, Matt and Trey, that was great. And I was like,
Did you watch it on Twitch or YouTube?
YouTube.
YouTube was having many issues. Twitch was the much better option, honestly, for some of them. The interview they had with them, they were like, what are you doing here? You said you would never make another game. And they were like, yeah, we did say that, but we're whiny bitches. And we kind of figured out towards the end of making South Park and the Stick of Truth how to make video games. So now that we've got that general, stepping stone, we've decided to build off of it from that. And, like, the whole thing that they have, like, the Coon and Friends and all that. Oh, it's so good. I can't wait.
And I think the other thing is, too, that was a really big takeaway from
this. Did you miss the ending thing where Butters came on the thing and, like, said something at the end of the trailer? Like, did you see that part?
No, we saw the whole trailer. It's just that we just didn't see the Matt and Trey part.
Dude, the Butters thing that was said was hilarious. Because it said, pre-order it now, and then Butters pops up and goes, yeah, because that's a good idea. And I was like, oh, of course.
But the subliminal takeaway on this thing is that, like, despite the THQ like meltdown and all like the horrors that original game went through, the fact that Matt and Trey Parker want to come back to this and to Ubisoft is actually a really good sign of how that game development went through. And the other thing is too, like, I don't expect this game to have like a long turnaround. Like, if you think about it, like, it's just you really have Matt and Trey do the voice work. They already have the engine done. I imagine it's probably just like an asset swap here and there, a couple story bits. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it's too long before we see this game.
I think it'll be out before the mid portion of next year, honestly.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was like, if it's not out before E3 next year, if it's like shortly thereafter. So, but who knows? I'd be surprised. Ubisoft does like to like keep all their stuff in the end of the year, so who knows? What else did Ubisoft have? For Honor, we talked about that briefly earlier, that kind of like medieval fighting game. Looked really cool.
The surprise of Ubisoft, the last thing they showed, which looked really cool. The new Ghost Recon.
Oh, yeah. Look, we were watching,
yeah.
When we were all watching that, we were just like, what is this?
Fuck is
we
this?
guessed
it.
So many games, and we're like, is it Assassin's Creed? And then like you'd see it be like, nope, can't be Assassin's Creed. Is it Splinter Cell? We'd be like,
nope, can't be Splinter Cell.
And like we were guessing, not one single one of us guessed Ghost Recon. We did kind of tentatively say like, I bet this is Tom Clancy. But
yeah.
Why are there so many Tom Clancy games in development?
Because he passed away.
It's not an acceptable answer.
Ubisoft has the license and it makes them a lot of money. I think that's the...
I know, but it's like,
answer.
Get friggin' The Division out first, at least. Like, come on.
The Division looks like garbage.
I know, but like, finish one of them before you announce two more.
They showed off The Division with the most ham-fisted, bullshitty fucking, like, introduction ever and, like, on-stage gameplay, which looked the fakest I've ever seen on an E3 stage, which is saying something. Oh my god, that was so bad. Like, it was so bad.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've shared this story before, but I know last year when they showed The Division for the first time, or the year before last, I don't know which one it was.
I think it was last year.
Okay. I spoke with my friend, who I will not name, who actually knows some of the developers that were working on that, because he got into the gaming industry also. And he says that, you know how they were showing off the gameplay of The Division last year and whatnot, and how it looked very open-ended and everything? He said if you literally were to take, like, 3 steps outside of the map they showed you, like, to turn a corner, like a corner that you see off in the distance, if you were to go down there and turn that corner, there was nothing. The entire thing was just, like, nowhere near finished. It shouldn't have even been shown off yet, and this probably won't come out till like 2018.
I mean, that's not surprising. That's usually how those kind of things are. Like, Watch Dogs was the same way when we saw it. Like, Ubisoft is one of those developers that shows off things way too early. Like, they show you things that you should not see yet, and you're just like, why? Because Watch Dogs ended up turning out radically different from what we expected it to be, I think. Just in that same sense. So, I don't know. But yeah, I do think that I personally just don't have much love for the Tom Clancy games, but I don't know. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we saw The Club again. I bet Nick was excited.
The what?
The Club?
The Crew?
Oh, The Crew. You're right. Sorry.
Wait, why they show off The Crew?
Exactly.
New DLC expansion.
See, no, that's what pissed me off. And not only them, but I didn't know they actually showed off The Crew. Because I had gone to my friend's house to watch the Sony conference, and like, but from the time that they started Ubisoft to the time I got to my friend's house, it was over. But now that you're telling me that, why did any of these developers show off add-ons as a big thing? Like, why was the Destiny add-on shown off? And like, they
I
try
totally
to market
forgot about that too.
I
like
actually know
thing.
why. It is kind of a big thing. It's supposed to rework the entire groundwork of Destiny. Like, it's supposed to be a very big add-on, like that sort of thing.
But other than that, The Crew is terrible. Like, you're gonna show off an add-on for a game that literally, like, probably like 10 people collectively play?
I have The Crew.
And it's bad.
Yeah.
Their whole concept of the American continent is terrible.
Anything else you guys want to talk about Ubisoft-wise?
Honestly, no. Like,
we got another Assassin's Creed and another Just Dance friggin' cookie cuttered for us, so there we go.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. I mean, the Assassin's Creed trailer looked fun. I don't have
they did show off something that made me instantly go out and buy the game. Because it just so happened that after they announced another DLC add-on for something at the show...
Are you talking about the trailer with the unicorn?
I am talking about the flaming unicorn that had a cat riding it and everything. Yeah, that was a trailer for the Blood Dragon version of Trials Fusion, which will be coming out in like a month or two. That looked really good, and it just so happened that right after that trailer was shown, the sales were put up for Steam, and that was on sale. So I was like, got it. So I bought that immediately. So yeah. That looks really cool. I loved, like, the Blood Dragon over-the-top craziness that they had with Far Cry, and the fact that they are bringing something like that to Trials, which is already a really fun and quirky game. Yeah, that excited me. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
Ubi, and I guess this will be the last thing I have to say about Ubi, is that, to me, they have always been like that, the developer who is like a 15-year-old kid who learned to say poop. Or like, he was like, he's like a 15-year-old kid. He's like, oh, I just said ass. I'm funny. Like, a lot of things they do, I feel like they do just because they're like, well, why the fuck not? Which is good, but at the same time, it's like, all right.
Actually,
you can only do it so much before it starts to be like...
Yeah.
Ubisoft is more like...
I really liked the idea of them doing something like that with Trials, because it's always been so, Trials and not something like that. So I was like, okay, I gotta check this out.
Ubisoft is... I have a better, I think, description, metaphor for you, Nick. Ubisoft is the kid who always is, the one who gets into the trends, a day late. It's like, oh my god, this fucking, I don't know, these stupid pants are just the coolest thing ever. And then they just never stop wearing those pants. Even though, you're just like, these pants, those are so 90s now. Ubisoft, why are you still wearing them?
So it's like if one of my friends right now, being 22 years old, went to Hot Topic and bought a chain wallet.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And they're always like, these chain wallets are really cool, guys. No, we like these other things now. Well, I made a bunch of chain wallets. I got you guys chain wallets. You want them? Thanks, I guess. I'll take it, but I don't really want it. But, okay. Yeah, exactly. That is exactly it, Nick. And they always do that. They're always, one step behind with, their games. They're never the trend setters. They're always the trend followers. And
they come out and say, we're Ubisoft. We like to say fuck during our press conference because we're cool and edgy, and we're just like you.
Yeah.
So
theirs was always.
That really got to the point where I was like, "All right, Tyler, you're trying too hard."
Ever since I saw Mr. Caffeine, I'm like, this is Ubisoft now. This is what they've become.
I love Mr. Caffeine.
No, fuck that guy.
He's another one too. When I worked at GameStop, he does all of their events. So wow. I had seen him for years and years before I had seen him on the Ubisoft stage, and he does a good job with those kind of settings. But he's a little too intense for E3, I think.
No, it's Ubisoft for you.
Yeah. So, anyways, moving on. Square Enix. I don't know if we have a lot to say for them, to be honest. They showed off 3.
Just Cause. They showed off Hitman. They showed off Kingdom Hearts 3.
They showed off the Nier game, the sequel to Nier that is being made by Platinum Games.
They probably showed off Haven Sword, but I didn't watch it. I would assume they would show it off.
Barely showed it off.
I think they would mention it.
Quick clip trailer, because that comes out next week.
Yeah. I think they showed off the Final Fantasy VII trailer again, which why not?
They did, and then they also showed off a mobile Kingdom Hearts, which they kind of did this thing that was hilarious, where they were like, I know you've been waiting for it.
Oh, yeah.
Let's look at Kingdom Hearts. And then it was a mobile thing, and everyone was just like, God damn it.
Oh, yeah, and someone in the audience was like, just give it to me!
And then the next thing they showed immediately after was...
The mobile game, and we were watching it, we're just like, I bet you regret saying that now.
Oh, yeah, no. Square Enix, I thought there was going to be a lot better, because they kind of hyped it coming up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That new game that's being made by the Japanese RPG Factory, whatever the fuck that developer's called, looks interesting, but they haven't really showed anything.
What the hell that is.
The images look cool, but other than that, I don't know what the fuck it is. I just know it's a new RPG coming from Square Enix, so.
Yeah, exactly. Not too much. So.
Kingdom Hearts, I still don't think is going to come out even in 2016.
No, I don't think it's coming out this year.
It'd be 2017 or 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a ways off. Apparently, it's
Christmas maybe next year, if that.
Rumor has it it's farther along than Final Fantasy 15, but that doesn't really say much. So
no.
Oh man, I don't think so. I think Final Fantasy 15 will be out way before that game.
Well, I mean, because 15's been in development longer than Kingdom Hearts 3, because you do gotta remember that Versus 13 was a thing, and now...
Just saying, I've played 15, so...
So have I. 15's wonderful.
I know it exists, so...
Yeah, but the other thing you have to remember with that, though,
played eyes on Kingdom Hearts outside of trailers.
Yeah, the other thing you have to remember with Final Fantasy 15, though, is that they did completely scrap the team, and it's a whole new team, which does throw things basically back to the drawing board once that happens, so... Yeah, it may have been in development longer, but that doesn't really say much. I mean, how long has Last Guardian been in development? Forever.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, but we already talked about the reason for that, and it got restarted in 2012, so, I mean,
yeah, and I'm sure Final Fantasy 15 was restarted at some point, too, so...
Yeah, probably.
I mean, if not tweaked heavily.
But we'll see. I bet they'll both come out in the same year, to be honest, but I don't think, other than...
I think we'll see... 15.
It'll be the year
before...
of RPGs. It'll be 15, 7 Remake, and Kingdom Hearts 3 all at the same time. And then the world will explode.
No, 7's not coming out at the same time as those ones.
15 before we see Kingdom Hearts 3, but I don't think the gap between the two games is going to be too large. I think they could come around about the same time.
I mean, the other thing to keep in mind, too, is they didn't even bring 15 to E3.
Well, no, because, I mean, they really don't have much to show.
Thing. They had a trailer which showed off things that were, like, upcoming games. And in that upcoming games trailer, they did show 15.
Yeah, for like 3 seconds.
I know, but that was the same amount of time that they showed Haven Sword, and that comes out next week.
Yeah,
so
it's like, game, but no one cares about Haven Sword. That's the difference.
I do.
Fuck you, I do. 14's great.
It's an upcoming game in the sense of they're making it. I don't think it's coming soon, as in, like, you know, within the next week or so. Like,
no, I think it'll be out next year. I fully believe it'll be out in 2016.
I would say Final Fantasy probably comes out summer of 2016, whereas Kingdom Hearts is probably
like November.
Midwinter 2017.
Nah, it's definitely gonna be like November. Kingdom Hearts will be like March 2017.
No, I still think Kingdom Hearts is gonna be first, but we'll see. There's no reason to split hairs on this because I haven't said anything. So, anything else you guys want to say about Square Enix?
Yay!
And
yay!
They didn't do as bad as EA.
They definitely weren't the worst.
They definitely weren't the best, though, either. That's
no, they weren't.
No.
That was Bethesda. It was a boring conference. But anyways, Brandon, I think you're the only one who watched the PC.
Yeah, I mean, the PC gaming one, I'll just go ahead and throw out a few quick points. They showed off some new graphics cards because they were hosted by AMD, so they showed off a bunch of AMD graphics cards and that sort of thing. Made a big deal out of it. Not anything too big there. They had Microsoft come out and show that, you know, these games are being made and they'll be on Windows 10 PCs and you'll be able to play them, and they'll have cross-platform play with the Xbox One. So that was really neat. So they showed off new AMD cards, and they also showed that Pillars of Eternity is getting an expansion pack, and that they are now owned by Obsidian and Paradox Interactive. So they will have an expansion pack, and it's part 1 of the expansion coming out later this year, I believe. It might be early next year. They didn't really give a date. The last thing they showed, which was the major thing, was No Man's Sky. And then he was like, yeah, it's coming out on PC. It'll come out the same day on PC as it does on PS4. So there's that. And that was pretty cool. They talked about that, and they showed off new hardware. A lot of it was just like, and here's some new hardware, here's a new game, new hardware, new game, new hardware, new game. Just back and forth, that sort of thing. It was, like, much smaller and, like, tight-knit, that sort of thing. They showed off a new expansion for Arma 3. I don't care about that game, but some people do, so there you go. They talked to the creator of DayZ, so I don't know how you get that trailer, but whatever.
They showed off DayZ, and then you blanked out.
Dude, I don't know what's going on, but I cannot keep a connection to you.
I know.
And I have nothing downloading I checked my internet speed, it's perfectly fine. There's something going on with Skype right now.
Yeah. We're almost at the end of this, so... But you said, just finish up what you started to say.
They showed off, they brought in the creator of DayZ, and they talked to him about it, because apparently he wants nothing to do with the game anymore, and he was very reluctant to talk about it. But he showed off his new game, Ion, and showed that it told that, you know, this is actually a Diablo-style game, which I don't know how the fuck you get that from the trailer he showed before, but it is. Mm-hmm. And they talked with the Arma 3 developers to show off their expansion. They talked with someone about the new version of the Oculus Rift and how EVE Online people have actually made another game, which is a straight-up, like, first-person ship combat game that takes place in the EVE universe and looks really neat, really cool. Like, you can look around your cockpit and everything with the Oculus Rift goggles. It worked really well from what they were showing. And it was built only for that, so that's something coming out in the distant future. And, I mean, pretty much everything was just, you know, very, like, PC gaming oriented, like very, very heavily, like talking about specs, talking about polygons and all that good jazz. They talked with the developers of both Hitman and Deus Ex and showed off how that will run on DirectX 12. It was kind of neat, but it was very, very geeky. It was very, very, like, spec heavy. It was very, very, like, different from what you would see at other conferences. And it was pretty nice for people that are really into that sort of thing, because it wasn't, like, pandering. It wasn't like, whoa, you know, like, wacky, that sort of thing, like a Ubisoft thing. There were a few jokes here and there thrown in, but it seemed more grounded in reality and actually talking about just straight up facts and not just being like, here's a shitty CGI trailer. No, they're like, here's how this will run in 4K and what cards you can use to do it. And it was pretty interesting if you're a PC gamer. But it was really long, really drawn out, and there was very few things that were actually worth sitting through that long, drawn out, like, nearly 3-hour presentation. So, there you go.
Really long.
Yeah.
So, anyways, so that wraps up the conferences for us. So, just, I guess, one last final thought. Rank your big three conferences. So, Microsoft, Sony, EA.
Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo.
Nick?
I would have to go same Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo.
I'm going to be a little different and say Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo.
Really?
So, yeah.
Huh. Okay.
I said Sony, like, they showed off some great stuff, and that's great, but just the fact that they didn't show any support for their systems this year, I think is a bit troubling. So
I completely understand where you're coming from there, but fucking Shenmue 3. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like I said, it's, and it'll be great next year when we're talking about all three of those games again, because they're all going to be at E3 next year. So
Shenmue's supposed to release next year.
Shenmue's supposed to release in 2017. I checked it, I know.
You're right. It's the end of next year that Shenmue's supposed to release. My bad.
Yeah. So, anyways. So,
no, it's not. It's the end of next year that Shenmue's supposed to release.
Yeah.
Alright, well, whatever.
Don't get your days all early.
You're right.
So yeah, that's where it was. I mean, I was definitely very disappointed by Nintendo.
Yeah.
Which is why I went out and saw Jurassic World, because I was so disappointed.
I'm seeing that this week.
That movie is great. That made my day. That helped balance things out a lot more. But, I mean, overall, I think E3 was great. I think there was a lot of good stuff shown. Maybe not as many surprises as we would expect.
Honestly, I think this was the E3 of dreams. This was the E3 of dreams, because there were so many things that many people believed were, like, never coming back. That, like, at the Sony conference, at least, they were like, oh yeah, bitches, here it is. Like, and that was some wow moments there.
Yeah. I mean, Sony definitely was able to pull together a great conference. Mm-hmm. And I do think it was smart of them to show this stuff this year, even if it's not coming out. Because it's definitely, it's good for the platform to have stuff coming out. Because they don't have anything this year. So, I mean, it made sense for them to go all in for what they have coming out. Like, I think Sony did the best that they could with the hand that they have. And that's great. Like I said, my big disappointment is there's nothing that I'm going to be going out and buying, like, this year for them. But
I'm buying Batman next week.
You can buy Batman almost anywhere, though. So.
Yeah, but there's exclusive shit on the PS4 that they showed off, and I love the Scarecrow missions because they're really fucked up, and those are on PS4. Mm-hmm. So, buying it on PS4.
That's a good reason. Anything else you guys want to say in general before we wrap up?
No, not really.
No?
I think this was one of the better E3s in the past few years, with some people dropping the ball, but it was better E3.
For me, any E3 where Fallout 4 is spoken about, this is the best E3.
Well, not only was it spoken, they gave us a date.
What about 2017 where they're like, Fallout 4?
That would have never happened because Todd Howard's not one to drag out game development like that. This game's been in development for...
Well, no, I'm not saying, like, drag... Like, so Fallout 4 releases this year. And let's say, like, 2 years from now, they start talking about Fallout 4 again.
Oh, no, that'll be retarded.
Fallout 4 is coming to iOS, Nick. What's your thoughts? 2017.
Already came to iOS.
Fallout 4 already came out on iOS?
Fallout came to iOS.
No, we're talking about Fallout 4.
You know what's funny? Right before they talked about Fallout, just real quick, I joked that Fallout 4 was going to be an iOS game, and then literally like 2 seconds later, they were like, oh, Fallout Shelter. I was like, well then.
Funny.
You know what's funny? I totally called almost the exact date that Fallout 4 would be releasing. Just saying.
Well, Nick
I
was
was a
only
bit
2 weeks
optimistic.
off.
Yeah.
And
Looking at the game, my date makes sense, and they should have done it, but they didn't.
I know. It really does. I'm actually surprised they didn't do that. So, anyways, anything else to wrap up on before we close out?
Nope, I gotta go to work.
All right. Well then, thank you everyone for listening to us this week. Don't forget you can download our everyone's episodes on iTunes, on Stitcher, or from the website doublegaming.com. Don't forget we're also posting the episodes on YouTube as well. Leave us your feedback. Share the podcast with the friends. The more it gets around, the happier everyone is. We love seeing feedback. We love seeing more people listening. It's great for everyone. So we'd love to hear that. Also, you can keep up with us on Facebook and on Twitter. And on Twitter, we are GMECRUCN. CRUNCH. I'm just dying on this ending today. Thank you, Samus, for the awesome logo for the podcast, and Loyalist for the awesome theme song. I'm sure you were in heaven this week with the Shenmue 3 thing. I thought about you when they announced that. And also, Brandon, do you have anything to send out on?
Nah, man. Not at all.
All right. Nick?
When's E3 2016?
Not soon enough. I fucking love E3. It's like Christmas. I wish it was longer. That's my only thing.
Yeah.
So, and with that said, my name is Mike Anastasia. You can find me on the internet. I am Clash of Penguin on Twitter or your favorite gaming consoles. And until next week... Oh, actually, one last thing. Rewind. 3 seconds. I just want to say happy birthday, Game Crunch. We're 2 years old this week. So...
Yeah.
Tom isn't here.
Tom isn't here. I mean, he was here for the 100th episode, and he wanted to be here, but we had to record early, unfortunately. But, so that is awesome, and always a pleasure doing this podcast with you guys. It's been a great 2 years, and I love the fact that our anniversary always falls on E3. So, but yeah, I just wanted to point that out before we wrapped up, because it is great. And happy E3 to everyone. And until next week, game on.
Hey.
Game on.
So much for no editing this week.
I love how you're like, okay, guys, no editing this week, and Skype was like, nah, man, fuck you.
Yeah. Figure out this shit, bastard.
Man, I tried my best. I didn't...
Literally, the only week that you needed Skype to behave itself, it was just like, nope.
I know, I don't know why I was acting like that. It's crazy. So, I don't know. We'll make it work. Worst case scenario, we'll have a little more oddities than usual.